Hello, my dudes, and welcome back to the Mikey and the Press Pass podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Press Pass.
Hey.
Hey, Dasha. How's it going this week?
It's Miguel.
Hey. Hey, Miguel.
Hey, what have you been up to?
Oh, just like more of the same.
I could keep going on that for so long before I'm just focusing on doing the actual voice and not what I'm saying.
Yeah. So what you been up to? What are we enjoying?
Right now we are enjoying the Curavari Trail Mix. It's one of those Pravada Cigar Club cigars. Mm-hmm. I normally don't go in for all that shenanigans, but it was Curavari, and so it was like Curavari. And I think really what it is supposedly a unique blend. And he was just too fucking lazy. He's just like, I'm just going to put the Buenaventura band on it. I'm not printing up special fucking bands for this cigar. But, I mean, it does have shades of the Buenaventura already, but you can definitely tell that it's different, like just even before the first ash.
Mm-hmm. So with that, Cigar Pravada? Is that what it's called? I don't know.
Pravada Cigar L. It's like the L. I forget what the L stands for, but it's something, they call it the Pravada Cigar Club. So it's just like you get these random, unique cigars from companies.
Because I always thought they were in like packs. It's like a monthly cigar pack. But apparently it's just they ship for certain shops, they ship them?
Yeah, for shops that participate, they ship usually about 100 sticks, somewhere between 80 and 120 sticks. And then that's how many we have, and people go fucking apeshit for them. And they just come in and buy anywhere between 5 and 10 of them at a time.
Yeah.
Without ever having smoked them.
You ever had them? Oh.
No.
They're going to be worth something, bro.
Oh, yeah? Be worth exactly what you paid for them. So, yeah, I don't usually go in for all that shenanigans, but like I said, I was like, oh, it's Curavari. It's actually a company that I like. If other companies that I liked actually...
Isn't it reasonably priced like the other Buenaventura's? No?
That's the thing is this is like a $16 cigar. Most of the Pravada Cigar Club stuff is like that. But then again, I don't know. That's possible because they're just we know we will sell all of them. It's possible that we just price all of the Pravada Cigar Club stuff at $16, $17, regardless of what we get it for, because we just know we will sell all of them, right? So why wouldn't we just mark them up and make more of a profit on that if we know we're going to sell them all anyway? So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So far, so good. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's good so far.
Yeah. Anyway, what's been keeping you busy this week?
Not much, stuff.
All right. See you guys next week.
All right. Peace out, homies.
What?
What?
That sounds like you were smashing it.
No, I haven't been doing anything.
Stuff,
I watched some television show. Oh, no. Streamed some shows.
Oh, yeah?
On the internet.
Yeah.
I heard a couple people talk about this show. My brother was like, you really need to watch this show. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called 000. And I'm getting the description from IMDb. A cocaine shipment makes its way to Europe, starting from the moment a powerful cartel in Italy criminals decide to buy it. Its journey through Mexico, it's a shipment across the Atlantic Ocean. So it's basically from the buyer, seller, and middleman's kind of perspective. And they kind of, throughout the series, they're kind of shifting between the three. So it's pretty good so far. They do a lot of they fuck around with the timeline a little bit. It's kind of jarring at points, but I think I'm on episode 4 or 5, and so I'm getting into the meat of the kind of the series.
That's cool. How many episodes are there?
I think there's about 8.
Oh, that's the new norm, apparently. It's just a little fucking irritating.
That's fine. It's just I'm kind of wondering what the budget on the show is. It's because very high production value on it. It's just crazy. And the nice thing about it too is there's 3 different languages spoken in it, and it's subtitled, not dubbed, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I don't know why anybody ever dubs anything. It's garbage.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, cartoons. You can
what,
dub.
Man? I don't want to read.
You can dub cartoons. That's fine.
That's fine.
Because I can't tell the difference. And the thing is, though, is from my experience, which is admittedly limited, mostly Studio Ghibli movies that I watch that are dubbed, and Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that. But pretty limited. But from my experience, the voice acting on like dub for like at least Ghibli films is better than the dub that you would get for like a live action show pretty much across the board.
Yeah.
It's mainly it's just because I don't know. It's like they get real actors to do the dubbing for like an anime. It's almost like getting, you know, like a Hollywood actor to be in like a Pixar film or something.
Yeah, but there's a little bit of pushback with people that work in kind of like the voiceover industry. Where it's like, why are you getting actors? You have actors that this is their job. They probably do a better job of doing it, but they just rather get named actors.
You're saying that there's pushback, like
People within the voice acting industry.
they're saying, why would you hire actors to like be in Pixar films and shit?
Yeah. Like you actually have a professional that does that for a living. You know? It's like,
I mean, it's talking into a mic. I mean, I would imagine that if you can act on screen, you can talk into a mic because you don't have to emote or anything like that. You're just using your voice.
yeah.
Sounds a little bit like they're just mad that like Brad Pitt makes a bunch of money because of his face, and then he also makes a bunch of money because of his voice. Because it's like, you know, it's Brad Pitt in the whatever the Disney movie Brad Pitt was in. I'm sure there's one. There's got to be. Like every actor does some Disney movie.
Yeah.
Well, what did Brad Pitt do?
I don't know. You're the one who brought up the point. I didn't.
I was just using Brad Pitt because he's very famous and has been famous for like our whole lives. So that's, you know, a thing. And if I were a voice actor and I was like really good at being a voice actor and I made like not nearly what Brad Pitt makes, then I'd be a little bitter that he's getting roles in Disney movies. But, you know, studio's got a studio, yo.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the same argument with like big studio films. Like they don't always get the best actor; just get the more famous actor to play a part. So,
Well, yeah, because more famous doesn't mean better, like at all. Like
no.
so,
Yeah, Nick Cage is really famous.
fuck yeah, he is.
But do you want him in your movie?
He's fucking
in your
awesome.
sleepy little independent film?
If it's adaptation, maybe he was okay in that. No,
Yeah.
that's what's sad about Nick Cage is
What?
that you watch adaptation, Raising Arizona, you watch Leaving Las Vegas. That dude can fucking act. Like he can act. He chooses not to.
Yeah.
He chooses to be a weird version of a person or whatever he is. It's like that's what's so weird to me is it's like he can act. He can pretend to be like a thing.
I can eat peaches for days.
But he's just like weird. Like the antithesis of Tom Cruise. Like Tom Cruise is like, this is what a person is like.
Yeah.
And then you put him in a movie and he's like, I am the vampire Lestat. And you're like, oh, this dude can act. like, yeah, just bravo, Tom Cruise. You're barely a person, but you can pretend to be another person. But you don't know what you're like, so you can't, whatever. It's like, just you can pretend to be a vampire or a superhero or whatever, but you can't like figure out a way to pretend to be a human in your everyday life. But that's fine. At least he's a good actor. And people like him. So, I mean, somebody must like Nick Cage. That guy keeps getting fucking work too.
Does he? I don't know. What's the last movie? Okay, let's see.
I don't know. But he's been in tons of movies, man. How many of those fucking National Treasure movies did he fucking make?
I think there's like 3 of them.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. Nick Cage.
He makes like a bunch of like straight to fucking DVD movies.
Yeah, it's like Steven Seagal.
Yeah. But you know, not all gross and fat.
All right. Come on, internet. You can do it. Do. Let's see. Latest project. Oh, Untitled Joe Exotic project.
I bet he crushes it.
Yeah, he's going to play Joe Exotic.
I bet you he crushes that. I bet you he'll show everybody, like, look, I can act. I can be this fucking weirdo.
But Joe Exotic's already weird to begin with. It's not like
Exactly.
a stretch. Oh my God, he's stretching so much.
But he's weird in different ways than Nick Cage is weird. That's why it's not really a very good job in Raising Arizona, because I feel like that character was just written to be Nicolas Cage. Like, So, yeah. I have a television again.
Oh, cool.
Ding!
How's your television viewing? I'm not done yet.
Oh, yeah. No, I just was saying, like, yeah, hey.
And I'm watching another series on Netflix this time, Age of Samurai, Battle for Japan. The show explores the warring kingdoms of the feudal Japan when several powerful warlords fight to become absolute ruler. It's basically like, remember like the early 2000s with History Channel, and they did like a lot of talking heads with reenactment.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's basically this. This is the show. I was like, yes, because I don't have the History Channel anymore, so it kind of like scratches that itch.
Well, because the History Channel really isn't the History Channel like we remember it.
Yeah.
Any more than the Learning Channel is the Learning Channel, or Discovery Channel is
Yeah.
Discovery Channel. It's like not really things.
My 1,000-pound life.
Yeah. Well, I told you about going and watching a lecture from fucking, who was it? It might have been Amy Goodman, actually. But she was talking about the importance of public broadcasting, and public entertainment, and PBS and all this shit, right? She was making all these points about like how, you know, educational and substantive stuff wouldn't get made in a competitive market, a competitive entertainment market. And I remember asking her a question about it. I don't remember how she answered, but I remember just being like, yeah, what about like TLC and the Discovery Channel and the History Channel and Nat Geo and like all these stations that all have educational programming? And then you just fast forward like 7 or 8 years after I said that, and it's like, oh, that's what happens to them. Like, they aren't educational programming anymore at all.
Yeah. Let's go PBS.
Yeah, but like but other avenues have sprung up since then. Look at the docuseries that Netflix and Amazon and like HBO is just like trucking along doing fucking documentaries every 5 years that like people forget about them, and then they'll come out with something like Going Clear and people are like, oh my God, fucking HBO. Like, yeah, because they just do stuff in the background for like 7 or 8 years, and like, oh my God, this is so well done. It's like, yeah, because they spent fucking 7 years making it. Like, that's what happens when you spend a lot of time on shit. You have a lot of money to spend on stuff. Great. You know, Winter on Fire. Again, everybody go watch that documentary. It's fantastic. But anyway, so feudal Japan shit. That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's just basically Game of Thrones without the dragons and magic.
So lame.
No, it's pretty badass. It just doesn't have all the like all the kind of personal drama. It's just like Rise of Power one dude, he gets killed and a fucking power vacuum happens. Now it's warring warlords that are doing all this stuff with this side, and
so it's what you would call like explanatory history.
Sure.
Like, it's not really a documentary because it's not like investigative in any way. It's not really a docu-series because there's not like a plot to it. It's just explaining to you how these things went down.
It's history.
Yeah.
Actual history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Who produces it? Netflix, you said?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm always curious to see like if all the footage that have like all the, God damn it,
all the footage from feudal Japan is degraded so badly now, dude. It's hard to watch.
No, but if it was like from original like Japanese series or something like that, because they do have like some historical dramas that they do in Japan or Korea, and I'm not sure if it's like just like it was just produced for this show or was it from something else that they grabbed.
Right. Yeah. I always want to see like, okay, where are you getting this information? Because sometimes, man, I'll watch stuff like this and it'll be talking heads and they'll be so sophisticated. Like, actually, a medieval swordsman wouldn't have lunged forward in that way. It's like, how the fuck do you know? Like, where are you getting this from? Like, please tell me, because that's more interesting than what you're telling me. I mean, not that I'm kind of skeptical, but it's like I make room for the possibility that you know what you're talking about. Just tell me how you fucking know this. That how you know it is almost more interesting than what you're telling me. It's like you're talking about like a thing that, like, do people write about this? And then, like, I put my shoulder down, lunged forward.
Oh, they actually do that. Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah,
Okay.
medieval like combat stuff has been written down.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, where do they get this? They seem to have like a level of sophistication about stuff.
Well, they have another show for that. So they're like, let's talk about history. This fighting stuff that you're really into, we have another show for that. So if you wanted to watch that, you could watch that.
No, but I mean, just mean like any given thing in history.
Yeah.
You know, that's not the dialect that such and such would have affected. Well, you weren't there to listen to it. How do you know it? It's not that they had recordings of it. You know, that's not what a typical Victorian woman would have actually smelled like. It's like, okay, do you have the perfume that she wore? how do you know it hasn't degraded over like the last 100 of years and it smells the same? Like, where are you getting this stuff? And it's like just part of it is just like, oh, he's a guy. He's got like a PhD after his name. He must know. And then sometimes you just find out that some people just don't fucking know anything, and you're like, oh, it shows what I know. Like, that guy's full of shit.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of interesting to me. All the talking heads for a little bit was all English dudes. I'm like, what the fuck is it happening? Like, it's like Japan, right? They should have experts in Japan, and they actually have some. So it's like, all right.
Yeah, but that's the thing about the Brits, man, is they've been doing fucking academics for so goddamn long that they have academics on everything.
Yeah.
Every possible thing. It's like you just see some stuffy old white British guy talking about, like, you know.
American Revolution, right?
Yeah.
We just gave it to them because, they spilled their tea. They don't know how to use that.
Here's the thing is I was, just saying of the Black History studies, right? It's like, slavery wasn't right now, isn't it? And let me tell you all about it, what it was like in the development in the early 20th century.
And you're just like,
What?
okay. Just it's like that old stuffy white guy and I Know Black People. That Chappelle skit, and he's just like this old stuffy white guy with like glasses and like leather patches, and he's just and he just knows all the things about like black culture. He's like, is pimping easy? Well, big Daddy Kane would say it ain't easy. He's just like the whitest fucking dude ever. It's like, but like, hey man, if you know your shit, like, why not? You know, but yeah, I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting because it's like you can track because, like, Japan is, like, just fucking older culture than England is, largely. But, like, does that track with, like, Western Europe and, like, academics? Because that's the cradle of academics, right? Like, Italy and England, largely. And so that's, like, where academics came from. But surely there was some semblance of academics over in, like, the East.
Yeah. They kept a lot of records, too.
Right.
They had a written language for a very long time, and they just kept records all the time.
Right. But record keeping, just like the Mayans kept good records and the Egyptians kept good records, but academics is the study of the meaning behind those things and the context and the cultural context, right? So that's like a whole field of study. People like just eggheads and they study that shit. And in Japan, it's like, oh yeah, we study stuff. It's like we don't just kind of take it down. And then, and we go learn to make fucking swords and shit and, like, do men's work, like, sit in a fucking office somewhere. It's like, yeah, okay. That's probably why you're so fucking good at everything. But, yeah, that seems like a weird...
It probably takes almost like a deep dive on someone else's... Or another culture to take a deep dive in someone else's culture to get, like, steeped into it. Mm-hmm. Because, like, when you're there all the time, you're like, well, this is kind of what we do. We're not really interested in it.
Right, because you're interested in kind of preserving your culture and the legacy of the culture,
Yeah.
but that's not really the examination of your culture. Because frankly, if the Japanese examined some shit about their culture, they probably wouldn't like what they found because they got some weird stuff going on over there. But historically, they have a lot of cool stuff, and it seems like it just seems like, in particular, the Japanese are not as rooted in the cerebral, like they're more rooted in like the physical world in a lot of ways. Like they're good at physical things, whether it's like is it making swords or fucking sushi or whatever, like this physical thing that you would do. Like they can figure out a way to just be the best thing. Ping pong. Like they figure out the best way to be.
That's China, my friend.
Yeah.
Wrong Asia.
What? No, there's really awesome Japanese ping pong players too.
I'm sure there is, but there's a larger amount of Chinese players.
Well, there's a larger amount of Chinese people, so no shit. There's more Chinese people good at just about anything.
So they're the best basketball players because they have the most people.
They don't play basketball there.
Yeah, they do.
Do they?
Yeah, it's huge.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no idea. They're not good at that at all.
They're pretty good.
Nah, compared to like American basketball players. But yeah, compared to like me, I'm sure they're fucking awesome. You probably got like a 5'3" guy that can just like put his nuts in my face and dunk on me.
How you like them apples?
Or whatever that equivalent adage in Chinese is.
Anyway,
so that's cool. How far are you into that?
looks like I'm halfway through both series. So
you chose to go halfway through both instead of all the way through one. See, it's like just a trade-off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and I'm continuing to play Fallout New Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How far you get?
Someone texting you? What's going on? Who's texting you?
Huh?
Who's texting you, huh?
Nobody.
Oh, and look at your phone. That's cool, man. Anyway, so that's fun. So I just got wrapped up in. It's like I forget how crazy some of the storylines in Fallout in general is, because I just visited Novak, and then I'm going to the Rocket Factory, and it's like a quest within a quest within a quest, where you're helping out the ghouls to kill the dudes with the stealth boys.
Oh, the Onai or whatever.
I don't know what they're called. The big ogre-looking things.
Yeah. Oh, the Onai is what they're called in D&D.
Oh.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Night creepers or something weird like that.
Yeah, something like that. And then there's like another storyline within it and doing all this stuff. It's like weird. And the whole going into Novak, that town where you're helping out that sniper dude, find out who killed his wife.
Yeah.
It's like, just bring somebody out there, just put on the hat and I'll shoot them. And every time I'm interacting with somebody, it's like, ask him to go to the dinosaur thing to check something out. I was like, I'm not taking this person out. I don't know if they killed anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you can figure it out.
No,
You
I
just-
can,
you
but
just-
I'm not at that point.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's just kind of sniffing around this little detective story,
Yeah.
kind of within another quest. I think that's one of the better names for a town.
Novak, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's very kind of Planet of the Apes slash Star Trek 2, I guess.
Oh, yeah. V'ger?
Yeah, well, that's original Star Trek, isn't it?
V'ger.
V'ger is from the Star Trek: The Motion Picture, right?
Yes, yeah.
Because Star Trek 2 is Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
V'ger.
Yeah, it's a lamer version of the Planet of the Apes one.
Yeah.
Return to the Planet of the, or Beneath the Planet of the Apes, or whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
How do they explain, like, Xmas is pronounced Christmas in Futurama? Or is it the other way around?
They don't say Christmas, they say Xmas.
Xmas. There you go.
Yeah. I don't know that they ever do explain that. You must be using an archaic pronunciation, like when you say ask instead of axe. Fry, let me ask you something. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That show's so fucking funny, man. But yeah, so no, that's there's definitely like that's kind of like quest. But luckily, I think that those little like that thing with the sniper, you can go on a side tangent of it and like resolve it pretty quickly, and then get back to your main quest pretty fast. I
Yeah.
like that. They kind of keep them short and sweet.
Yeah, and there's like these barriers to entry to different levels because you can't just go into a town, right? Because like you might have too weak of an armor or your guns are not like strong enough to defeat like whatever crap's in the way. Like those stupid fucking flies. I can't get past them.
The bloat flies.
No, the other ones, like cazadors.
Cazadors.
I was like, dude, these things suck.
I told you
You
they
get
fuck
hit
us.
like twice. You're like, oh fuck, I'm dying.
And you're dead.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I'm not going there anymore.
It mostly doesn't have to do with your I mean, sure, it does have a little bit to do with the gun you're using, but mostly it's just your level. Because if you get high enough level and you boost up your firearm skills, like you can kill some pretty serious shit, you know, like a varmint rifle, because you're just good at shooting stuff. So, but yeah, you have to. But yeah, I told you those things are fucking awful. They're
Yeah.
like the worst thing in the game. I don't know if you've encountered death claws yet, but like once
Not
you
yet.
get used to dealing with those things, like fucking death claws are a cakewalk.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Because they're hard to track with the VAT.
Exactly.
Like, I'm the fuck, it's black.
Yeah, and you try to just do it manually, and you're just like all over the place. There's more than one, and they cover the distance really fast.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I think there's one over there, and then there's like, oh shit. Yeah, that sucks. But no, that's yeah, that game is super addictive and super fun. And yeah, I'm trying to remember. There's something in that like Novak place that it's like something that you need later in the game. I want to say it might be all those little toy rockets.
Yeah, the rocket is for the fuel for the ghouls, those space ghouls.
Oh, you already. Yeah, I was gonna tell you if you haven't gone there, like, because you can get those rockets before.
Yeah,
So
I
that
just-
when you meet them, you
Yeah.
actually have all
Oh,
of the
here.
rockets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they don't weigh anything in your inventory. So
Yeah.
you just get like 100 of them, and
Yeah.
they all have like a little bit of juice in them or whatever.
I forgot the fucking funniest. They do some really funny things with the scientist guy that's helping them, like the little handyman. Like, keep on telling him he's a human, but he could insist that he's a ghoul.
Yeah.
And then the whole backstory's like, yeah, they're telling me, yeah, just go in there. There's no radiation. And look at my head. I'm balding. I'm a creep. I'm a fucking monster. Look at me.
Yeah.
It's like, you're just bald, so you've left. It's like,
Yeah.
shut up.
Yeah, leave me alone.
And then the other like ogre-looking thing talking to the antler, the god. I don't know if it's a god or whatever with the talking head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, there's lots of little weird things like that. And like I said, it's made better when you have the Wild Wastelands trait. Like there's all sorts of other weird shit. Like some of it's in, well, you'd probably be able to get the DLCs for it. I don't know if you got that, the big MT.
I'm pretty sure I can get it.
That's a pretty cool, I think I played a couple of them. My favorite was the big MT. It's like this big, it's in Montana, I think. And, or no, maybe it's not in Montana, but it's just like, anyway, it's like this big research facility, and there's all these like laboratories. It's a research laboratory, and so there's like all this like cool like science related stuff that happens, and like they have like this, like these weird like towns set up like within it. It's really strange, but it's got like some really cool plot lines in it. Some of the cool Wild Wasteland stuff is in there. You can download it. It's probably pretty good. I don't know how you would go about, because like before, like when it was new, it was like you'd pay for it and download it.
Yeah, they had it there.
But now I don't know how you do that.
Oh, it's on Steam, so.
Oh, right. Yeah, you can probably just get it on there. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of, like, there's basically an entire game's worth of content and DLCs. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, probably pick it up.
Yeah, increases its playability, because I mean the game itself is probably a good 40 hours of play if you go through like and just do.
Just mainlining it or doing all the quests too?
No, I would say just kind of if you do, you know, a decent amount of the quests, and you hit the level cap, that's probably about how long it takes. But if you just go the mainline quest, you can get through it in like probably 7 or 8 hours.
Oh, really?
Pretty quickly, yeah.
Huh.
But
there's a lot of walking around. That's why.
yeah, but like once you walk to some place and reveal it, you can just fast travel back and forth.
It fucking takes a long ass time.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I would guess. I think to hit the DLCs bump your level cap up too. I think so. I don't remember what level you cap out at, like 40 or something like that. And so yeah, it's like once you get there, like most of the things in the kind of main quests, like they're really not challenging that much anymore. You can just kill shit at will, and like nothing can really hurt you. You just kind of okay.
Yeah.
You're just like, if you're playing on medium, like hard is always difficult, but
Yeah, I was at that point with Fallout 4 because I just kind of just grinded it out a little bit, and I was like, "Well, this is really easy now."
oh really? Because yeah, like I was early enough in the game. I think I made it to like.
Oh, look at this fucking death clown. Let me fuck with it.
Oh yeah, no, like I found it.
It's like like the armor with the minigun.
Oh yeah, the power armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I was at like level, somewhere between 12 and 15, I think. And so what I was doing is I found a suit of power armor, and I was trying to like get better pieces for the armor, and also accumulating cores for it. Like, it was like, okay, because those cores, you just fucking run out of them really fast, which is a cooler addition to the game. And the power armor that you get in New Vegas, you just wear, and it's like no big deal.
Oh, okay.
You have to power it with cores. It doesn't have a suit that you get in. It's like a mech. It's like armor.
But you still have to repair the armor? I don't know.
Yeah, armor still needs to be repaired, but you can do it. You don't need to have like a bench like you do in Fallout 4. It's just like a repair skill that you have. And so, like, I was in the process of doing that, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna just like, I want to have the power armor, but I want to have enough cores that I can just like go through a good chunk of the game with the power armor and like, you know, get it all repaired, like all the pieces up to like 100%. But then you gotta like prospect all these things that you need to fix it, and like,
that's why I was like homies with the Brotherhood of Steel. It was like, just hook me up with this stuff, man.
No, I was trying to like, I think that was part of it too, is I kind of shoehorn you into joining one of the factions.
Yeah.
And so like I was like
That's where I stopped.
I was like, I don't want to join any of the factions.
Yeah.
I want to like do my own thing.
Because you could be with the Scientist or the Brotherhood of Steel or the Minutemen. I was like, Minutemen for sure I'm not going to be a part of. I don't like being part of the Minutemen. And then the Underground Railroad type of people, like, fuck them. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, I was
Robots are people too, man.
Yeah, like, whoa, hey, you can't like own robots. It's like whatever. Get away from me. You know, as gritty as Fallout still is you still can't kill kids. That's weird. I think you can in the originals.
Probably. Seemed like it was a little bit more grittier.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far like the mainline Fallouts, right? They're in order, right? Like Fallout 1's like right after the Fallout, or fairly recent to the Fallout.
No, I don't think they are in order.
Oh, really?
1 and 2 are subsequent, but then they kind of jump back and forth. Like, I think 4 is closer to the beginning.
Huh.
Yeah, 4 is the closest to the beginning because you start, like, when the nuclear holocaust happens, remember? And you start the game and you go in that little thing, and then when you come out, it's, like, right after the nuclear holocaust.
No,
hit.
it's not. It's a couple, like, decades after.
Yeah,
Because
but
he's, like, in stasis.
yeah, it's a couple decades, but I think that's the earliest on the timeline.
I could have sworn, like, 1 and 2 are, like, fairly close to each other.
They are fairly close to each other, but they're like they're I think farther into the nuclear holocaust than 3 and New Vegas are even. So I think like timeline wise, it goes 4, 3, New Vegas, 1, then 2. I think 2 is the farthest along into the Holocaust.
Oh, okay.
I think it's been a long time since I played the first 2, but
Isn't the first 2, like, top down, or is it, like, isometric?
it's like isometric.
Oh, okay.
I think. Yeah, it is. I was confusing it with like the first couple Grand Theft Autos.
Yeah, that one's top down. That was...
It's like it's the same quality of graphics though too, but it's but yeah, because that's the whole thing is like in the first one and the second one, there's the new California Republic. But that doesn't happen until later in the Holocaust because like the more immediate areas in the east are like what gets settled first, just like in the history of America. So it's not till later that like the people, I don't know, they have some reason in the mythos too, like those people don't come out of their vaults until later for whatever reason.
Yeah, because there seems to be like from what I was reading on the Wikipedia, like they have like the dwellers, the vault dwellers, that were like still alive, living in the vaults for how many years?
Yeah, generations.
And they come out.
Yeah.
And then they got like Fallout 4, you just like wake up.
Yeah.
And then New Vegas, you're like a courier. You're
Yeah.
like in that world.
Yeah, that happens after 3. In 3, you're a vault dweller.
Okay.
And you come to the surface. And I think in 1 and 2, it might be similar. You might come out of the vault. So I don't think they're too far off from 3, but I think they are a little bit later. Yeah, I don't really remember, but no, yeah, New Vegas is probably the best of the lot. It's probably the best of all the Fallout games, like wall to wall. I mean, I didn't play all the way through 4, so I can't really say that, but there are some things that are better about 4, but it's like, just like with any game, sometimes they give you new stuff that's cooler. Like, oh, this is cool. I like this little detail that they made. But then it's like, but then why'd you do away with like these other things that I liked? Like this.
Yeah, they seem like 4 and New Vegas are fairly similar systems. So I haven't seen a difference, except maybe running. There's no running in New Vegas. You just have to take out your gun and you can walk faster. But
Yeah.
other than that, there's like no running.
Yeah. Well, I think it seems like you move a little faster, and
Yeah.
if you're wearing the power armor, you move a little slower. It's a bigger difference in Fallout 4. It's one of the things I like about it. In the power armor, you can't fucking move for shit. You're super fucking slow. Yep.
Yeah.
And even when you run, it's basically like a walk. But yeah, I don't know. There's just but then again, I didn't get into a lot of the side plots in 4, so maybe there's some really cool stuff in there. But I just liked the accessibility of the quests, and kind of there's lots of things that like come into play in the main fold of the story. But then there's like a lot of little Easter eggs that you hunt around, and the world is pretty big. A lot of good mix between like. Maybe that's part of it too, is that in 4, you're in Boston, right? So it's like all very like urban and cramped and
All New England.
Yeah, and there's some of that in New Vegas where it's like when you're in Vegas proper, it's like, more urban feeling, but then there's also like the large expanse of the desert, and there's like this open, unknown frontier kind of feel to it. Feels more like a space western, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Or whatever, apocalyptic western, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like what do they call that? It's not cyberpunk, it's something else. It's not, steampunk,
Yeah.
cyberpunk, and then what's that aesthetic called?
I don't know. Just post-apocalyptic, I guess, generically.
Yeah.
But it's still with that like 50s nostalgia layered over it.
Yeah, on top of like the nuclear kind of
Yeah.
thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's a whole Red Scare feel to it. It's kind of fun, but
Oh
it's
my
like
God, Red Scare.
it's just like it's so good. It's like, but yeah, it's a pretty solid game. It's got a bunch of cool things going on. You burn some bridges and stuff. Like fucking, there's this one point in the game. I think it's in New Vegas, where you can you come to this town, and there's a there's a bomb that's like landed in the town, but like hasn't gone off. And you can time it to trigger it if you have good science, and you can just go up to like this big like tower and just watch the town just fucking go up in a mushroom cloud.
That's so fucked up.
It's fucking dope. You just fucking nuke the whole town and then it's just gone for the rest of the fucking game.
Oops.
Yep. That's pretty fucking cool.
So what you been up to lately?
Well, I haven't really got back on the kick of watching television. I had it for a while. Anthony came over and hung up my TV, and
I actually came over to help you.
yeah,
Ah.
yeah. As opposed to what?
I don't know. No, I gotta wash my dog or something.
Or his grandpa was gonna die.
What?
But so he did that. That was cool. But I still haven't really been watching TV. Listening to a lot of records lately. So that's good.
You listen to old lady on stripper pole.
Yeah. Stripper pole. Fucking so good. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a thing that it is, I guess. That's for those of you that don't get that joke, don't follow me on Instagram. So basically I've been on this kick about collecting vinyl. I'm not like a vinyl collector, but I want to have like all of my favorite albums that I can listen to them at home, like on the record player, and that's that. And so I've just been kind of knocking out some of my favorite records, one of which is Iggy and the Stooges, or the Stooges, Raw Power. And on the cover of the album is a young Iggy Pop who is like very rail thin and kind of has this like dipshitty fucking kind of long punk rock hair, and he's holding a mic stand, and the album came in the mail, and my old lady was like, oh, hey, you got a record. You got a record in the mail, and I was like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, it's the one with the topless lady on the stripper pole. It's a fucking mic stand, and it's a dude. It's like, okay, well, whatever.
Well, this angry old lady or old man yells at me.
Angry old man is yelling at me. So I've been doing that. My buddy Devin came over last night. We went out and met in Fremont and shot some pool at California Billiards and had some whiskey, and then went back to my house and shot the shit for a bit. And
How would you rate that pool hall?
well, that's probably on par with Edgy's.
Okay.
Their tables have gotten a little more play, but they have a few other tables that are like fucking nicer, nicer than the ones at Edgy's, the nicest ones. It's really big. It's got a lot of fucking space. It's probably like it's easily as big as Utopia. It's a big fucking pool hall. So that was cool. They have food and booze, so that was nice. Not just beer. So, but yeah, we shot the shit for a while, and then he's on a night schedule now. So he was like, "All right, man, I'm gonna head home." I thought he was gonna stay over, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna head home." I'm like, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, I'm up till like 4 or 5, 6 o'clock in the morning now." I'm like, "Okay, well, good to see you."
Bye.
But yeah, other than that, just all settled into the apartment now. So it's just kind of like working, coming home, listen to records, make dinner, reading a little bit.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm working on a story for Metro too. I was hoping to be able to get it done this week, but I had a source like flip out on me. Not flip out, but
Flip out, man.
I think I'm gonna flip out. No, but like, so there's this homeless dude.
That's her source.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's about a homeless encampment getting relocated, and so I wanted to talk to one of the residents of said homeless encampment. So I asked another source that I interviewed if they could put me in contact with somebody that was at the homeless encampment, and she said yes. And then the guy, like I coordinate with him, and he seems like a nice enough guy or whatever. And it's like start the interview. I'm like, okay, well, thanks for making the time, yada yada yada. I was like, first of all, can I have you spell your last name for me? He's like, yeah, I'm not giving you my last name. He's like, that's like privy information.
What?
Privy information. That's what he said. And I'm like, okay, well, generally speaking, we ask our sources to be on the record with their first and last name. And he's like, oh, well, fine. And I'm like, fine, like I can have your name or no? He's like, well, I don't want to like say anything that would like reflect badly on the company that organized the move.
Oh.
And I was like, and I really didn't even get a chance to be like, well, then don't say anything bad about them. He's like, well, they told me not to give my name out. And I was like, and he's just like, this interview's over. And he hung up. And I was like, okay, that's weird, right? Like, why would he fucking... So then I asked the lady that coordinated, the spokesperson for the move or whatever, the company coordinating it. And in a roundabout way, she said that guy was a liar.
But he hasn't said anything. No, he lies.
Politely. Because I asked her, I was like, why would you tell them that? Why would you tell them not to give their names out? Do you realize that, like, he effectively cannot tell his story now because you have told him that he can't give his name out? Like, you have silenced him, even if inadvertently. And she's like, well, that's not our policy. And I was like, so you did not tell him this? And she was like, no, we don't. We love it when our residents share stories. I was like, do you know somebody that will want to talk to me? She's like, I'll see if I can get on that. And she hasn't. And, but like, basically, yeah, she was just like, it's just obviously a misunderstanding. And I was like, it sounds like a misunderstanding. He told me, you told him, and now you're telling me you did not tell him. It sounds like you're calling him a liar.
Well, I didn't say that.
Yeah. Oh, no, not in those words. Yeah, but that's what you're saying.
That's not our policy.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. So that was a bit of a snag. I really wanted that interview for the story, and I've been trying to find somebody else to replace him, and to no avail. But I got the other interviews done, so I'm thinking that that's probably going to shake out. But I was hoping to have it done by yesterday, and I didn't, and so that was kind of annoying. So covered some city council this week. High drama, too. Always is in Santa Clara.
What do you talk about?
Just fucking mostly just fighting among themselves about stupid shit. Just like griping about horse shit. I'm trying to remember what it was this week.
I don't like grapes in the fucking charcuterie board. It's bullshit.
Meat and cheese.
What the fuck you don't understand about it, man?
And fucking cheese. That's what charcuterie is. No, so like, I don't remember if it was...
How are we going to add that in the budget? Grapes? Are you serious?
California produce. We're supporting local farmers, though.
No, it's meat and cheese.
This is an ideological difference. Like, no, but it's just like, well, so what happened was, I'll bore you a little bit with this Santa Clara politics.
Get on this info dump.
Yeah, exposition man here. No, so what happened was, I think I've talked to you about this before. I maybe even talked to, like, on the podcast about it. So basically what has happened, what had previously happened was that, like, the mayor had kind of had, like, a stranglehold on city operations, right? She had gotten rid of the city attorney and the city manager and, like, a bunch of department heads and replaced them with people that she liked, and she had put a couple of her stooges on the council. And so we just had an election, and that tide turned. One of her stooges got reelected, which was impressive to me because I listened to the forum, not a debate, it's a forum, right? And the gal that she was running against just fucking crushed her. Like, she just And the gal that she was going up against, Javier Batia, I don't agree with all of her politics, but she's fucking bulldog, man. I like her. And I think she's been way better council member than this other bimbo that doesn't know anything about anything. Like, she doesn't know what she thinks about stuff until the mayor tells her. I mean, that's not an exaggeration. Am I supposed to know?
Yes, I agree. In the affirmative.
Exactly. It's seriously like that bad. That's not an exaggeration. That's not hyperbole. It's almost exactly like that. Only the mayor doesn't like whisper to her, but she will like in very clear like let her know what she thinks about stuff. And anyway, so I watched the forum between them two, those two.
Them two
during the election season or whatever, and like this chick, at least in the first one, like this Javier Batia chick just wrecked her. Like she was just like, wow, that's embarrassing, that's bad. But how somehow when people came time to go to the polls, like this other mayor stooge, she got reelected, but there was a vacant seat that got filled by somebody that was not like, you know, in the mayor's camp of things. And then, like, previously, in the last election for, like, the midterm elections, they had to fill another seat because they had one council member basically got pushed out, the Rady guy. And then another one had to step down because she had some health problems. And so she couldn't be on the council anymore. So they had 2 vacant seats. And those both got filled. And then 2 more. So now it's like on a 7-member council, the only people in the mayor's camp are the mayor and this like bimbo. It's a 7-member council, like 5 people are like just
They're
not
wringing their hands. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so now there's been a lot of that where the mayor will just throw tantrums about stuff because she does not get her way anymore. She just throws tantrums and she gets very upset.
That's more interesting at council meetings. That what now? What now? What now? Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, and it's so funny to like, because one of the guys, this council member, Suds Jane, so I covered his first, like, I think it was his first vie for the council back in 2016. So I've known him at least that long. And he, like, again, his politics are not my cup of tea. But you can't doubt that he, A, is incredibly smart, and B, knows a fucking ton about the city that he lives in, right? He knows a lot, probably more than anybody that I don't even think it's a probably. He knows more about that city than anybody that I've met outside of the associate editor at the Weekly. Like, he knows a fucking ton of shit. And he knows about, like, operational things. He's not just like an idea guy. Like, he went to MIT and shit and was an engineer and retired at like 40 or whatever. He was like so successful.
Yeah.
And so like he's just like a retiree. And so like he's just and he's like an immigrant from India. He's a polio survivor.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so like he's just like, it's hard not to like him, but he's basically like an Indian John Savick. I'm not kidding.
Here's a thing about polio. It's kind of messed up.
Yeah, almost to a T. But to be fair, those are the kind of people you want to be politicians, the people that don't have gravitas, but like have a fucking deep knowledge of shit and like actually understand the operation. And like, so she'll just throw a tantrum about stuff. Like she'll just, and his response is
I don't
like,
give a shit if you have polio.
he's fucking like, she'll freak out about shit.
It's not real.
And he'll just be like, well, I understand those criticisms, and well, I just disagree. I just don't think that's the way to go about doing it. I mean, maybe we should call for the vote. You guys just want to call for the vote?
No.
He's like, just okay. Here's just Madam City Clerk, ask the question. Just call for the vote. We don't need to debate anymore. Your criticisms are noted, and he's just like this really fucking flat affectation. And it's just like, and you just see her like, and everybody else too is just like, yeah, just keep on barking there, little doggy.
Yeah.
And like, it's okay. Can we just vote now? Do you you're done making your impassioned plea? Okay, let's vote. I vote yes. And I vote yes. The mayor, no. Her little stooge, no. It's like,
yes, I mean, no.
And that passes 5-2. They're just all like super calm because they just know like,
what are you gonna do?
like, we're just, well, oh yeah, we'll hear you out. We're gonna hear you out.
Yeah.
And like the same thing with her little stooge, man. It was like all about It's like every single corner of the like city operations, the mayor tries to have her hand in. But the council, if the majority is not on her side, can like override any of these policies.
Yeah.
The council has the ability to do that. It's a charter city. And so like there's all these committees that all of the council members are on. And like the mayor appoints council members to certain committees. So what she has done is she has appointed the people that she wants on certain committees to other committees. Or to those committees, and then the other council members that are like less experienced or whatever, she just appoints to these Mickey Mouse fucking committees. And so Indian John Savick guy, he's like, I really don't think that these committee assignments are equitable. I mean, they're just like, we should really be having more of an equal distribution. And I think that, you know, it's just, I made a spreadsheet here of all like the things, and it's like, as you can see, we're all on like 2 or 3 committees, and you know, I've controlled a little bit here for weight because some of like the VTA board, that's a little more time consuming, and so and then like and all the other people are like, oh wow, he like did all the work. It's like, yeah, I'm behind that like 100%. He just did the work for us. He just brought work to the council, right? He took fucking homework home and brought home, and like I figured all this out. I got a
Bring
fucking
out his backpack.
Right, I got a spreadsheet right here. You want to know how many hours a fucking month you committed to? Bam, click on your name right there. It does the math, right? And so the mayor went on this like impassioned, like, just like, you know what, we just need to have like the most experienced members on these committees, and like, you know, these other people that are on the committees from other cities, like if you're not experienced, they're just going to take advantage of you, and like I don't think we're putting our best team forward. And she's like, it's fine, you know, if that's the will of the council, like it's fine. But then she just like turned around and immediately explained why it was not fine. And then they were just like, yeah, that's what we want. We want to be on these committees.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, and they were just signing up for more work, but like they know what the score. It's like a lot of decisions about the way the city gets operated gets made in these committees, and like, you know, if you're not there or whatever, then and she basically was just trying to shit all over the new council members like they don't know anything. And to be fair, like this one dude, like he doesn't really know very much. He's pretty young, and also ran for council in 2016. I think he was only like 27 or 28 at the time.
Wow.
Then he's only in his 30s now. So he doesn't really know a lot. He kind of bills himself as like the voice of a younger generation, and I'm a, you know,
I got a TikTok.
yeah, and I'm gay, so like I get it, you know, or whatever. And so, but he's a nice enough guy, but he's not as knowledgeable as some of the other. But like the John Savick guy, like it's like that guy's new.
What's his actual name?
Suds Jane.
Okay, there we go.
Sudhansu Jane. I said that at the beginning.
Yeah, I know, but you keep on calling him like another person's name.
Yeah.
Give the man his due, man. He had polio.
Yeah.
He survived polio.
Yeah, he's a great dude. He's a good dude. He's super knowledgeable. He's he doesn't get flustered easily. I like that about him. But yeah, it's like you're
just playing into my trap. Don't fall for it.
yeah. But it's like for her to say that guy doesn't, like, he's new, so he doesn't know how like council runs. Like, dude, that dude was on planning commission for like 5 or 6 years. Like, he's served on like a citizens advisory committee. He's served on all sorts of government things, and he's like, you know, teaches like has a robotics team that's like won all these like state things and shit. Like he knows he knows more than you do, lady. Like, just don't. It's like, oh, you're new. You just got elected, so
I'm just gonna take your job later.
Yeah. It's like whatever. But yeah. Anyway, there's dudes on the council now. Oh, that's kind of weird.
Oh, okay.
Because it was like 6-1, ladies to guys, and now there's like 2 more dudes.
Nice.
So it's like 3 dudes and 4 ladies. So, and ladies, I use the term loosely, but.
Madams. There you go.
Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I was doing that, some politicking, keeping myself entertained. But
It's like, all right, some fucking action this time.
it's always drama, but sometimes it just like
There was a lot of yelling. And,
not yelling. What irritates me though is like, okay, so what happened this week is like they fucking. So the long and short of it is not this week and not last week, but the week before. What happened was, the finance director, he came before the council and he was like, "Yeah, COVID's tough, and we don't have a lot of money. We're slated to run a $56 million deficit, and so, in a very long-winded finance director kind of way, he said, here's what needs to happen. One, we need to, primarily what we need to do is we need to cut funding across a bunch of departments, including police and fire, because they make a lot of money.
What?
If we do not do that, we will have to do one of the two following things. One, have essential services for the city suffer greatly.
No.
Two, dip into our reserves, which are one-time money, and like have those reserves be basically bankrupt, like just no money in reserves for anything. So I highly suggest that we make these cuts, and it's, 5 and 6% to the police and fire respectively, and it's 5 and 6% to like the city manager's office and a couple of other places, and then there's like 1 and 2% on all these different ones that they're not big departments. This is not disproportionate to what we're asking the cuts to be. Mayor doesn't like this. Nope, we will not be cutting services for fire and police. Guess which unions supported the mayor's campaign, by the way.
Yeah.
Just as an aside. So they have this whole talk, yada, 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 hours of talk, going back and forth. We're not, you know what, why don't we just continue this to next week? Okay, so they continue it to next week. And then they talk about it some more. And they fucking continue it again.
Yeah.
It's going on like 8 hours they've been talking about this one fucking topic. It's like, dude, he was pretty clear. You have one of 3 options. Like you have to...
So you're saying cut essential services then? Is that what you're telling me to do? No, not in those many words, but I'm just saying find the money somewhere.
Yeah, it's like, no, we don't have the money. He's like, I'm the finance director.
Nah, you don't know anything.
Let's crunch those numbers. Like, can you just crunch them again? It's like, there's no crunching. It's just a program here. It's all the numbers are. Can you just crunch them again? Click.
Yeah.
Anything change? Nope. Like,
just take like the disc and blow on it and just put it back. Maybe it's just kind of messed up.
And so, yeah, that's just been like, that's what's annoying is that sometimes they will talk about things for, like, they'll have one position, like, yeah, we're going to vote for this, the staff recommendation, what the staff wants. And they're like, well, let's talk about it. And then they'll go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and they'll talk for hours and hours and hours. And then someone will be like, I make a motion that we go with staff recommendation, and it passes unanimously.
I was like, why did you do that?
Yeah, why did we talk for 4 hours on this one fucking topic to just
I got look busy, bro.
just arrive back at the same fucking point?
Yeah.
And it's like, geez, it's amazing to me. Because, like, so the meetings have been like 7-8 hours long lately.
Oh, okay.
Fucking just
on average, like on a non-crazy COVID time, how long would they be?
Usually 2 or 3 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Sometimes as much as 4 or 5 hours. But yeah, like usually a meeting would start at 7 and usually would not run past 11 or 11:30. But now they're running like 6, 7, 8 hours like long.
That's crazy.
And it's like, yeah, I remember earlier in COVID, they pulled an item off the consent calendar. For those of you who don't know what a consent calendar is, it's a bunch of routine shit that needs to get done, right? Like sign a contract for a construction company to like fill potholes and pay them X amount of dollars, or accept a grant proposal from, this federal grant that we applied for and we got accepted to accept that money into the budget, or, just a lot of stuff like that. Approve the minutes from last month's meeting, and right. And so basically this is just like a whole litany of things that like they all just get passed in one motion because they don't need any discussion. But if anybody wants to pull an item from the consent calendar because they have an issue with it, they're free to do that and then have a vote on it separately. They pulled an item, a routine item from the consent calendar one time and talked about it for like fucking 2 hours.
These potholes, how deep are they?
I think it was the contract with the company that provides like recycled waste.
Okay.
Just something really fucking innocuous. And
All right.
just like, seriously, for fucking 2 hours? And then guess what they did? They just approved it anyway. It's like, fucking seriously. Anyway, so that's enough like local government talk. I guess let's probably move on to something more engaging.
All right. Let's see. You want to hop into the news? The news?
Sure.
All right.
I only got 2 stories this week.
Same here.
Okay.
All right. Trump's fake inauguration on March 4th was QAnon's last vision that flopped. A new date is now being peddled to perpetuate the mind games. So the gist of this thing is
Okay,
we're like,
you know what news is, right? The things that are factual actually happened. You can't just make shit up.
no, it's Q, man. He knows.
Wait, Q from Star Trek? Q?
Nah, Q ain't none.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, apparently, okay, there was like the storm that was gonna come during the inauguration. Like all these QAnon supporters or believers, they thought like the military is gonna calm down with the down helicopters, like fucking repelling down, fucking like arrest everybody and shit like that. Like, oh, it didn't happen. March 4th, something's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, guys. And
Well, this is
nothing
the
happened.
Seventh-day Adventist situation all
Oh
over
yeah,
again.
exactly what it's doing. So there was this like a whole bunch of fucking shit. I was like, I don't know. These people are just like going around and around in circles about like, oh no, this is like
These people?
yeah, QAnon supporters. You know,
I mean, I don't really think they're people in the way that you and I mean it, but
you
yeah.
know, carbon-based life
Sure,
forms.
I guess.
You know,
It's like, yep, I guess.
Homo erectus.
Technically, they have the same genetics, but I don't think the OS is the same.
So that was pretty funny watching that stuff and people getting really upset about it.
Why do people get upset about stuff like this? I never understand.
I don't know. And there was like another. Hold on, damn it, Insider. Let's see. There was something about a lot of these believers believing. Where is it? Whatever. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know why anyone like responds to stuff like that. It reminds me of like, you know, when you were a kid and somebody like pick on you or something, and like they like you just tell them something like, when I get big, I'm gonna build a robot that's gonna throw missiles at your house, and like their response to that was like, oh, okay.
Good luck with that.
I mean, you didn't realize that once you got bigger, you could just kick their ass because you're just like a
It's
dumb.
just like you're gonna stay small and they get bigger for some reason.
Yeah, this is like like I remember having this conversation with some kid before. Like, someday I'm gonna be older than you. It's like, I don't think you know how age works, kid. But okay, good luck with that. I guess if you outlive me,
Yeah,
like if I die at 40 and you live to be 41, then yes, someday you will be older than me. But since you're younger than me now, you eventually probably will be older than me. But
here's a picture of me when I was younger.
every picture of you is a picture of you when you were younger.
So that's about it. That was pretty funny to me. How
Yeah.
about you? What kind of news you got?
A couple things in the woke news this week. Did you hear that they're canceling Dr. Seuss?
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are. They're trying to cancel Dr. Seuss.
What?
Yeah.
The publishers, the people that own the rights to Dr. Seuss, decided not to reprint one of these books.
Several of his books.
Okay, yeah, and then they didn't cancel him. They're still publishing his books.
They're not publishing those books,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, canceling means they're done. No more. You don't get to do any of that stuff.
Well, he doesn't
when you
get to-
cancel a TV show, they're like, no, you can make some more episodes. We'll show it once in a while. No, cancel, gone. Leave it alone. You're from kaputs. That's
So-
canceled.
so,
So this
like-
is not canceled.
It's because it's not categorical? Is that what you're saying?
They're saying you're canceling Dr. Seuss, meaning he's done. There's no more Dr. Seuss. There's no more reprints. We're not doing any of that shit. So when you say canceled, right? Let's say you cancel somebody in Hollywood. No more jobs for you. You go away. No one's hiring you.
Sure.
Yeah. They're still reprinting Dr. Seuss books.
No, they're not.
Green Eggs and Ham. Are they reprinting those?
Sure.
It's okay. Not canceled.
Yeah, see, I don't agree with this assessment. Dr. Seuss would be the catalog of Dr. Seuss books. If you are removing some of those books from the catalog, then that is no longer, quote, Dr. Seuss, capital letters. Right? It's some of Dr. Seuss, but now you're just saying that, like, these Dr. Seuss are problematic.
Not canon.
Whatever. It's just whatever the reason. Which, from what I can tell, the reasons are just like silly reasons to begin with. It's like, oh, okay. Like it's like it seems to be colored by the fact that, like,
Chinese people looking funny. Your squint eyes.
And the books they mentioned, I don't really remember, to be fair.
Yeah, people are getting upset for books they don't remember either.
We should all be upset anytime somebody decides that it's prudent to remove books of the catalog of canon of books that are in the public view. That should always be concerning.
Sure.
I don't care what those books say. Period. Like, I don't care if they're the most horrible, vile, fucking horseshit ever. Mein Kampf. Don't ban Mein Kampf. Don't ban Huckleberry Finn. Don't ban anything. Don't ban books. Banning books bad. Equivocal to canceling in my eyes, especially because it doesn't seem to be done for any reason. It doesn't even seem to be like people are like all outraged by it. It's like, oh, we'll just fucking virtue signal that like we're so good, and like it's like in Dr. Seuss by most accounts, like yeah, he had probably some pretty not so great opinions about things,
and he was not a good dude too.
Right, we're not talking about him as a dude. We're talking about his work, right? You know who Shel Silverstein is too. No. You don't know who, where the sidewalk ends, and the Giving Tree. It's like arguably besides Dr. Seuss, the greatest children's author, also had some kind of despicable opinions about things. But that doesn't mean that you're like, well, now let's like read into his work and find all those opinions. Like the Giving Tree is about communism or something, right? It's like get rid of the
red tree.
Yeah, it's all about sacrificing yourself for the greater good, or it's about abused women, right?
Oh, is it? I don't know.
No, I'm saying you could you could say that. The Giving Tree. You remember that book, right?
Yeah, I remember some of it.
The Giving Tree just gives and gives and gives and gives and gives and gives, and the kid always just takes and takes and takes and takes.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's like it's an analogy to like the way he felt about women and the way women should be or some shit because he was sexist, and it's like just fucking shut up. It's a cute book for kids. It's a good book for kids. Like I don't just. Where do we get to a point where it's like Dr. Seuss is offensive now? Like literally, if you were to say like what the most innocuous thing you could think of.
Snoopy man, black and white dog.
No, I'm surprised. Like this has probably happened. The fucking Muppet Show. Have they canceled the Muppet Show yet? Have the fucking is the Swedish chef now insensitive, or the crotchety old white guys because they're just like clearly like
bunch of boomers.
There's a bunch of boomer capitalist fucking pigs. If that hasn't happened already, I promise you it's coming. This should be troubling to all of us. We start just like, let's just get rid of books and get rid of fucking TV shows and like just like, no, I'm sorry. This is why I buy fucking records. Like, I'm not having it anymore. It's fucking obnoxious. Anyway, I don't know if that constitutes as news so much as a rant about it. What else we got?
Triggered.
Yeah, I'm triggered. I can remain untriggered until you was like, we should ban these books. It's like, you mean like the whole essence of our culture, the written word, we're now in the habit of just like censoring. That's a thing that is okay for us to do as a society. Well, I'm going to say that it's not. It's not okay. Yay, free speech. First Amendment, good. Woke bullshit, bad.
I don't remember them burning books, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Whiskey redemption. Biden administration lifts hated tariffs on Scotland's most famous export.
Wait, is it whiskey with a E or no?
No E.
Administration lifts hated. What is it? Hated tariffs on Scott. Oh, so no more tariffs on whiskey?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Raise a toast. Scottish whiskey makers on Thursday hailed it as fabulous news after the United States suspended punitive duties on single malt whiskey imports as part of truce for Britain in a 17-year-old trade dispute over legal subsidies of plane making Boeing and Airbus. So we're just playing like you fuck with us, we're gonna put some tariffs on some fucking whiskey, bro. Fuck with us, you're done. You're done. We like our
but
airplane.
not canceled. You won't be canceled because that's not a thing, apparently.
No, they're just saying tariffs, bro. Tariffs. Speaking of tariffs, I think I kind of destroyed. I missed it last week. Fry's Electronics closed down after like fucking 30 years. Oh, you didn't have Fry's Electronics back where you're from.
No, it was new to me moving here, and then now it's gone. So I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
I've been there before. I don't remember to get what. I went to get something.
Yeah, it became like a really cool place for
Oh, I went
electronics.
to get Dr. Seuss books. They didn't have them because Dr. Seuss got canceled.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, because we're off topic, but Fry's Electronics was a cool place to just like roam around because it's like a big warehouse of
Yeah.
electronics, and it became weird where it was like they were selling like as seen on TV stuff. They had a big huge aisle full of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it became like weird Chinese knockoff stuff they would have there. I'm like, why is it? Who cares?
Chinese knockoffs of as seen on TV stuff.
Of other things like AirPods or Bluetooth headsets and shit like that.
Yeah, it's almost like it feels kind of like a dollar store kind of a little bit, but it's like more.
But they had flat screen TVs right next to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, but it just kind of feels that way. Like it's like little trinkets and things or whatever doohickey dads that are like cheap and
Yeah.
and then really expensive stuff over here that you might want.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool place to pick up like CDs when people bought CDs and vinyl records. They had a big section of vinyl records.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, like everything.
Yeah.
I remember like just fucking getting lost in that place. I was like, what the hell?
yeah, it's pretty badass. And a lot of locations had themes. Like the one down here was like a Aztec themed. The one in Sunnyvale.
That's cultural appropriation, though. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to do that. That's probably why they got shut down.
Yeah.
Because you just can't have themes like that.
Yeah.
Because, it's bad.
Yeah, agree. Yeah, fuck those guys.
It's Aztec things like fucking hatchets and shit. It's like, well, this is pretty cool.
Well, they had pictures of people being headed,
Oh, that's
like
cool.
paintings of that, and
That's awesome.
yeah, and the outside had like sounds of the jungle. You hear like fucking parakeets. One had like a UFO theme, like a fucking UFO was busting through the building. The one in Sunnyvale, in the original location, was like inside a computer, got resistors and shit.
That's very cool. It's a very neat idea. I wonder why did it say why they closed?
I think it was a combination of the tariffs on China and just COVID.
Well, yeah, I guess when you have that much space and people aren't actually in the store, it's like to fucking
Oh,
operate.
and Amazon.
Yeah, well, you pretty much can point to Amazon for the reason that anything closes.
Yeah.
That's why did this bakery that I like close? Oh, because Amazon just figured out how to make their donuts as good as them, and they just deliver them to your house for free with any package you get. So this company went out of business.
Yeah, you think Amazon's gonna be so powerful that they'll be able to sell like cigars there?
I don't know.
Like they'll just be in the lobby, like, we'll just get the cigar shop, bro.
Yeah, I found myself in a position to kind of like, it's like Amazon is the new Walmart, and people like love to hate on it.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, this is fucking bullshit. It's like, yeah, because
that was a comeback of like, we love Walmart. It's so good. It's good for the community now.
yeah,
Like,
I wouldn't be surprised if people came full circle on that shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, like Walmart.
They used to employ old Jim. He used to say hi to people.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, fuck off, Jim.
Give me some work.
All right.
It's like, but yeah, it's like, yeah, Amazon just like they're big enough. They don't have fucks to give. They just, oh, okay, that's what we'll do. It's like I told the story about my old lady and her fucking backpack. I told you that, didn't I?
No.
Okay, so this is a story of why Amazon is dope, because they're just so big that they don't care like about certain things. So it's like her backpack got delivered. It was like this. She had been like waiting to get this backpack because she wanted a nice backpack. It was shortly after I got my backpack, and she was like, "Wow, I really like your backpack," and I'm like, "Yeah, me too." And she's like, "It would be really kind of weird if I just got the same backpack as you would." And I'm like, "Yeah, a little bit. It'd be a little weird." She's like, "Oh, really?"
Oh, matching. You're like an Asian couple.
Yeah, she's like, huh. She's like, oh, I found this this other backpack that I like. It's like a leather backpack, and I really like it. And she's like, yeah, but I shouldn't spend the money on it right now. So she's like, I made sure she had the money earmarked, like a $300 backpack or whatever. She had this money earmarked for it, had it delivered, and then the package either never arrived or someone swiped it from our doorstep. I think someone swiped it because I think they took a photo of it like on the doorstep, and then when we got home, it wasn't there. And so she like contacted Amazon, and this is my thing. Like, I was like, you ever notice when like something goes awry at a company and they fuck up? They'll try to like gaslight you and make you think like you fucked up in some way.
You stole it.
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing? But then like other times, like this situation with me and Netflix where it's like I lost their fucking movies. I lost them.
Yeah.
I left them out and someone took the fucking movies.
Yeah.
My fault.
Yeah.
And then situations like that, like Netflix were like, oh my God, we're so sorry that happened. I'm like, no, you don't understand. You won't be getting your movies. I lost them. And they're like, we understand this is an inconvenience. Tell you what we'll do is send the next 3 movies to you in your queue, expedited shipping. And we're going to give you 2 months free of Netflix. And my loyalty from that one instance is just now wearing out. This was like 15 years ago or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, you fucking rule, Netflix. You fucking rule. Same thing happened with Amazon. Is like, they were like, they did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Someone stole the package. And we were like, oh my God, I wonder if at the very least we can get it refunded or redelivered. And they're like, we're really sorry that happened. We're like, well, but you don't have any control over like people stealing shit.
I know, we're bad.
They're like, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make it right. We're going to give you a full refund. And Diana was like, well, that's really great. And they're like, and then we're just going to send you a new backpack.
Oh, wow.
Like a new one. And so like Amazon just gave my girlfriend a $300 backpack for free. That is only the sort of latitude you can get from some big fucking conglomerate that has no fucks to give about a $300 backpack.
Yeah, it's not like a mom and pop operation where they make it by hand. It's like, well, I can't do anything about it.
Right. You ever do some stupid shit like that where like you'll like, I don't know, like get like a bottle. You ever dropped a bottle of whiskey right after you walk outside the store?
Yes.
That's fucking so tragic.
Yeah, like,
this is another situation. I went to this fucking liquor store and I used to go to this liquor store all the time. And like, it was in Iowa and I would come in probably once a week, maybe twice a week and get a bottle, usually a 5th of bourbon. And the guy there knew me. And like we were pretty chatty. We'd come in and he liked whiskey too. Chat whiskey every now and again, whatever. I smoke cigars and like he was like, oh, it's really cool. You know, I thought about like smoke cigars sometimes. I was like, I was like, yeah, man, like, I smoke cigars sometimes. Or I was like, I work a lot, whatever, But whatever. He was a good dude. And that happened to me. Like I walked out the door and I was like saying goodbye to him and someone was walking in and they just did one of those things where they just bump into you and don't fucking say anything. They're not even sorry. And they bumped into me and I just dropped the bottle of whiskey and it shattered. I didn't even get a chance to open it. And I'm just standing here like this, like looking down at like, the $30 that I spent on the bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. And then I turned around to go back into the store, and the clerk was standing behind me. He was like, here, man, just fucking take it. I was like, are you serious? She's like, dude, I've had that happen before. It fucking sucks. It'd be like if you got a pizza and you like walked out of the pizza place, just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, there's like similar videos of their like Ring cameras catching them going home. It's like some dude like end of his shift coming home. He has like a 6-pack, gets out of the truck, and the bottom falls out. And all 6 beers are fucked.
Yeah. Yeah. See, at least with like a 6-pack, you'd be like, maybe I didn't break all of them or something like that, right?
All of them.
No, I dropped a bottle of beer at work today on the ground. Didn't break.
Yeah.
We have a concrete floor, glass bottle. Dropped it from like 3 feet. Just bink, bounced. I was like, man, Corona, you really making those bottles last.
Yeah. They didn't want you to have fights with them.
Yeah, I guess. And they're like, we made them extra thick for coronavirus because people were scared. Anyway.
You got your second story?
Yeah. I gotta bring it up here. Hold on, just a second. There's also in woke news.
Okay.
This one is far more serious, though. Seattle politicians looking to decriminalize theft if someone is poor.
Okay.
Yep. Politicians in Seattle are mulling over the idea that if someone trespasses that doesn't have a home or steals because they intend to sell the items for their basic needs, such as food or rent, that act would not be treated as a crime. This is where we are in the world. Como News reports that the idea is referred to as the poverty defense. It is being discussed by the Seattle City Council Public Safety Committee. My old lady's going to Seattle tomorrow. Should tell her to bring this up with her friend.
Steal something.
And was introduced by City Council member...
I mean, don't steal stuff.
Stealing is bad unless you're poor, apparently. Council took no action on the proposal, but this week the members expected to discuss the proposal again in January. What? Is this like a really old story? Oh, yeah, I guess it's from December last year. They might have already passed this shit.
Now we would have heard more of that.
According to Herbold, the idea is based on the values of our city. really?
Who's
That's-
gonna like the stolen item? Like if you're a business, someone breaks into your business, who's gonna, you know, not refund you, but you know, replace those stolen items,
compensate you?
compensate
Yes.
you.
I don't know. Is that going to come out of the city's budget?
It just sounds
I
like a
think
shit-
you're going to have a crime wave on your hands when people realize there is free shit.
Yeah,
Because why the fuck wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
And like if it's just coming out of the city, will just pay for it. Yeah, the city just pay for everything, right? Like why not? It's
oh
coronavirus.
man, someone
People-
stole my Lamborghini. Oh,
Yeah. Oh no. It's just like yeah. It's just like that fucking blew my mind. And
I don't
of
know. Why
course-
don't you fucking fund the fucking food banks? Maybe that will help out too.
Yeah.
Huh? How about that?
Yeah.
Huh?
Like it's like well the thing is like these people are like you know they're poor, they're desperate, and like we don't want to like take care of them in any way.
Yeah.
But like if they want to steal to get like their needs met, then we'll endorse that.
Nah.
We'll endorse our own like incompetence to actually make sure that people have the things they need in society. And also
Also, take care of the people in your city? Nah, we're not going to do that.
well, you know what's fucked up too is this general rule, like this whole like idea that there's like that people only steal because they're trying to like get
Feed themselves?
Feed themselves. This
Well,
is like
maybe some of them are like drug addicts or
yeah,
maybe a little bit crazy.
sure. And most people that are like brash thieves are not like they're not like oh they're usually like why did you steal that stuff?
I like to do bad stuff because bad stuff is cool.
Yeah, it's like it's not like oh, I was really hungry and I needed to. It's like I needed money for food. It's like why wouldn't you just steal food?
What?
Exactly. Cut out the fucking middleman there.
I don't want to touch raw food, you
But
dumb.
like I just don't get this. Like it's just like this whole idea.
Hey man,
that,
how am I going to cook that when I'm poor?
yeah. It's like and to be fair, I'm not in the camp that like that
Let them eat cake.
no, like that like well drug addicts like they're robbing people to like get money to buy drugs. I'm like I'm sure some of them do, but
Yeah.
largely drug addicts steal from like the people in their immediate circle. They exploit their family and their friends and their like other fucking poor people that have shit.
Yeah.
And because there's a low risk there.
Yeah.
They're not robbing people in the street by and large to buy like drugs. I mean, most people that steal shit do so for a profit motive. Like that's why people steal. It's not mostly out of like desperation to like feed themselves. And like even if it were, how the fuck do you go about proving that in a court of law?
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. Maybe because the margins are so low of people actually being that poor. Like maybe that law would work in some way because it's so small, and then plus they have to have some sort of, you know, like these are the guidelines of like, yeah, this guy was fucking dirt poor.
No, see, but
He was eating squirrels in the park.
That's inductive and not deductive, right? You're trying to suss out intent in a court of law. You can't just look at the person and say how poor is that person. You have to be able to establish that they stole something because they're that poor, not just that they are that poor and that they stole. Right? Because then you could just be like, I stole this Bugatti bag and I'm super poor, so I needed it.
Well, I'm poor compared to this guy.
Right. It's just like, you know, it's like you can't, you're going to like try to like go, you're just incentivizing anybody. Like, why did you steal? To feed my family.
Okay.
Oh, really? Because there's like a bunch of like used needles in your little hutch over there and
So?
empty liquor bottles. And,
So?
And what?
So?
You have a family?
So?
Yeah. I stole it to feed my family.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Like, why wouldn't you just fucking lie if you knew that it was a magic button you could push to just get off the hook?
Yeah.
Who's at the counter end of that to like investigate? Like, it's the fucking thing.
Your Honor, I asked the cop if he was a cop, and you're supposed to say yes. But he said no. So it's
Entrapment. Yeah. That old sticky wicket, that old chestnut. People just think that cops can't lie to you. Like, how did that ever get started anyway? You ever wonder that?
Maybe because like some kid like, oh, it's entrapment. I read it in a law book. It's entrapment. They have to tell you.
I feel like it's largely a byproduct of Hollywood.
It's like I've never seen that.
Here's what I suspect.
Damn it! You caught me. Damn.
Here's what I suspect. I suspect that the concept of entrapment, very similar to the concept of marital privilege, right? Marital privilege, like testifying against your spouse,
Yeah.
is just too complicated to render on screen in a way that your average moviegoer can comprehend. So Hollywood writers just flatten it and oversimplify it. You cannot testify. You cannot be mandated to testify against your spouse. False. You can. Absolutely you can, depending on the nature of the crime and all these things. And the same is true for entrapment. Like, we don't really know what entrapment is. What is that? It's like, well, it's a thing.
Well, like Sean Connery
Right.
and
It limits like what cops can do in the scope of being a cop. How you can't trick
are
someone.
you a cop?
Yeah, you can't trick someone.
you a cop?
Are you a cop? I am not a cop. Yeah, you can't trick somebody into self-incrimination, right? That's enshrined in the Bill of Rights. But they don't really like have a way to explain this. They're just like, oh, if he's a cop, he's got to tell you. It's a thing. And then people just hear it enough, and they're like, he's got to tell me if he's a cop. It's like, this is how dangerous is this?
Saw it in a movie one
You
time.
saw it in a movie one time. It's like, you would think you would look into
Saw
it.
it one time. Steve Seagal was holding these two plates together. He held it for 1 second, bro. If that dude could do it, I could do it.
Exactly. It's just like, yeah, The Departed says, are you a cop? I am not a cop.
He didn't say he was a cop. He must be not a cop.
That's one of my favorite things in all of How I Met Your Mother, which is like, do you remember that episode with the?
I've never. I've
Okay,
only
so-
like watched the episode.
It's a fine show. I like it. Okay, I don't really get deep into it, but it's like, oh yeah, I really think I need to take out Ted tonight, Lily. So he's got the breakup and everything, and she's like, you need to take out Ted. I feel like he needs to talk out. He needs to like talk it out. Talk about the breakup. Is that really what's going to happen, Marshall? Or are you guys just going to like talk about that for like a couple of minutes, and then you're going to get a bunch of drinks in you, and you're just going to sit around quoting The Departed, and then it just smash cuts to them at the bar. Are you a cop? Oh, I am not a cop. Are you a cop?
It's like us. We just quote Chappelle's show all fucking night after we drink.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was good. I was like, that is kind of what guys are like. It's like, oh man, I'm all fucked up. Like, it's really sad.
It's like women will talk about it for like 8 hours. Like, I can't believe that's right. Your feelings are very valid at
and
this
there
time.
were sesame seeds on the bun. Like there were sesame seeds on the bun, and he told you not to get the sesame seeds, but you got them anyway, and that's insensitive for him not to really realize. I'm just like, oh god, just stop that forever, stop that. But anyway, so that's those I got for news. You got any more news? You're out of news.
I'm out of news.
All right. Well, that's a beep 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 line.
Ain't lying. So we're about the 2/3 of the way through the cigar.
Yeah, pretty good so far.
Yeah, I think it really hit it straight in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good cigar, and like, it was typical Buenaventura for me in the beginning, and it just kind of like almost like honey oat kind of flavor to it.
Yeah, I can see why they named it the trail mix, because it does have kind of like a nutty, almost granola
The
flavor.
breadiness of it,
Yeah,
yeasty a little
yeah.
bit.
It's got some of that kind of like bread granola grain flavor.
Yeah.
To it, and then even like a little bit of like, I guess you could even probably describe the sweetness kind of as like a fruit sweetness, I guess, which would probably be in the trail mix too, raisins or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That was in trail mix.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that.
A little bit of nuttiness.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. But yeah, definitely. Now it's just kind of like pulling back. Like it had its moment in the sun, and now I feel like most of the flavors are kind of, the complexity is kind of gone, and it's just left with a little bit of. It doesn't have that real strong like kind of like graham cracker that the Buenaventura, the classic Buenaventura's has. It's replaced by kind of that something a little more sophisticated, and it's got a little more spice than the Buenaventura does too. So it's good. I wouldn't venture to guess it, like a $15-16 stick. I'm pretty solid. I really did like the construction of it. Mm-hmm. It smoked evenly, it burned evenly, didn't get hot, looked nice, drew easy. Mm-hmm. It was like really well constructed, which is not something I can say for all cigars. Like to get that even of a burn all the way down to the end.
Yeah. Barely had to touch it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think I touched mine up at all. Maybe
Yeah.
I did once, but yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty persnickety about burn. I don't know why.
I am too.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's about time to touch up, and so I just do, even if it's burning fine still.
Yeah, because there's the tendency for some cigar smokers where they let it tunnel and just like just torch the shit out of it. I was like, no, let's just touch it a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
That's what the lighter's for.
Yeah, like I really hate it when I get like this on the burn line.
Yeah.
And I know it's gonna like start burning unevenly, so I'll touch it up.
Yeah.
And then I'm like and then it'll get kind of that dog dickiness where it'll come, and then so I'll cut that. I'll cut that, and then I'll retouch it.
The fucking red rocket.
Because yeah, I like it. I like it when the
that
the
seems like it's
cherry is like nice and square and even.
Huh? Because that seems like a preferred kind of ember for to have it coned out like that. Because it's kind of the wrapper and binder is kind of burning first, and then the trailing edge would be.
Yeah, I like a little cone, but I don't like it when it gets too pronounced or it kind of like red rockets up, and I gotta I'll clip it and relight, like just to clip that like cherry off, because usually that's a byproduct of like you touching it up.
Yeah.
Because like it's canoeing a little bit, like one side is burning a little faster than the other. And then when you go to touch it up, then there's like new cherry that you're creating. And so then it just like, if you don't correct it, it'll just keep burning unevenly. And then you'll end up with just that real dog dicky looking.
Yeah.
And rather than let that happen, I just like correct it really quick and then relight. And it's easier.
Yeah, there's some people that do they lick their finger, go. Like, use the fucking lighter.
Like trying to like get it to slow down the burn.
Yeah, like one side's burning fast, you lick their finger.
That's really weird. I've never seen anyone do that.
Oh, yeah, it's usually older cigar smokers. It's like like some sort of era. Like the same thing with like really old timey smokers, like fucking like Sasha Grey.
Yeah.
Like no, you don't need to do that now.
It's like they humidify them now.
Yeah, you don't need your apple cores anymore, guys.
Yeah, you don't need your apple cores in there. Sliced apples. It's like yeah, okay. I remember.
What do I put in this thing? Apple slices?
Apple slices? No, water.
What?
It's like that's not what it does. It's just good. I'm looking for a good 10-cent cigar.
Nah.
All 5-cent cigars I found are not good. Good 10-cent cigar.
This is the sweet spot with the 10 cent.
Wasn't it Winston Churchill that said that what this country really needs is like really good 5-cent cigars back in the day?
Damn, dude, that's crazy.
Because, they didn't used to have like blends. It was just like they had companies, and then they had a 5-cent cigar and a 10-cent cigar.
Yeah.
And that's like what they had, a 5-cent cigar and a 10-cent cigar. You were bougie if you smoked the 10-cent, regular one was 5 cents.
Yeah.
It's like...
That's more for the American market, but I'm England was getting exported Cuban cigars, so...
I mean, this was like, well, it must have been longer ago than Winston Churchill. Because he was prime minister like in the 40s and 50s, right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
So it was probably before that. It must have been like the turn of the century. So who was
Mark Twain?
Might have been, it was either like Edison or Mark Twain, or who was like maybe Teddy Roosevelt, like one of our presidents. One of our presidents, the most badass president ever.
Yeah.
Not based on policy, just based on his ability to like.
Would you like to wrestle?
Kick your ass and like take a bullet.
Yeah, let's wrestle in the Oval Office.
Yeah.
Me and you, buddy.
Hey man, we should get a little bit of that fucking bravado back in the White House. It's like you thought Trump had a little bit of it, but I'm like, no, you're just kind of like. You're
more
more
doofus.
You're more just like a magpie. You're all bark and no bite. Like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm just convinced.
That's why I'm like Obama dunking on you. I'm gonna go play basketball with my fellow Americans and dunk all over these bitches.
He probably prays at the Supreme Court because they got a basketball basketball court on the roof.
Oh, skyhook on that.
I like to think that they all play in their robes. And Clarence Thomas is not good. Like he's not very good at all.
I don't like playing this game, guys.
I don't know why you guys like. Every time we're picking teams, you guys always pick me first. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like that Simpsons episode with like
Carl.
Like, I'll take Carl. I was like, why does everybody just assume that because I'm black, I'm good at basketball? I toss him basketball. He does like this 360 dunk. Yeah. Bader Ginsburg. She's all dribble but no shooting.
Yeah, it's like just like and one mixtape. Great handles for days.
I know. It's like you always see those like things, and it's like seriously, it's like okay, but when do they shoot? I don't ever really shoot them shooting. They shoot them like dribbling around people and stuff. It's like, can any of them hit a fucking shot? Like,
That's not exciting.
I guess not.
It's all about the razzle dazzle, man.
What's that one guy's name that's all like that? We watched that.
Oh, the professor?
Yeah, the professor.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a fucking square white dude or whatever, like a breathe right strips on.
What's up, y'all? This is the professor.
Yeah.
Professor Live. It's funny sometimes when I watch those videos because it's like, dudes, it looks like they've never played a game of basketball in their life. And they fucking like, hey, professor, want to play me? I'm going to fuck you up. Like, in what universe?
Because they just don't. Some people just don't think about it like it's what's, you know, I'm athletic, and it's like basketball's a learned skill set.
Uh-huh.
It's like because you're not a pro. It's like, you know, I could. It's like that whole like, I don't know, you guys like are all up on Mike Tyson's jock. Like, he's just a man. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I guess
A
technically.
man that could kill you.
Right. I guess technically you mean in the same way that we were talking earlier, like he's genetically a human, but like when it comes to boxing, he's a machine and you are a marshmallow.
Yeah.
Like, you die. Like, period.
I think this is because you don't run into people like that in real life. Like,
no, because those people
a
are like,
supreme athlete, they're just out there doing stuff, and you're here fucking being a marshmallow.
right. It's just like, you just think about like in the relative terms, like to say that someone like a pro boxer, a good top echelon pro boxer like Tyson was in his heyday, or like whoever you want to choose now, Triple G or Canelo or whatever. Like, to say that those guys are like 1 in a million is like an understatement, right? There's like 7 or 8 or 10 guys in the world that are that good. Let's just call them like in that top echelon of combat sports athletes, including MMA. There's maybe like 50 to 100 guys. So that makes it like, in a world of 8 billion people, ludicrous.
Yeah.
So the likelihood that you'll ever encounter anybody like that is virtually non-existent. You're probably more likely to get hit by a fucking meteor than ever to like think that you would encounter someone like that randomly.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, why wouldn't you just have the attitude like, well, just...
And plus, it's like you're seeing 2 experts go at it. They're hitting each other. It's like, I could fucking do that. It's like, yeah, but the other guy's a professional too.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
what do you think is going to happen?
You see what this guy did to the other guy as a professional?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we was having this argument with Devin again last night because he fucking hates Tyson. And like, it's like Tyson's basically just like as much of a media construct as anything. I'm like, but you're like a big Mayweather fan.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, I don't know what that has to do with anything. I'm like, because
Are you
it
talking about the greatest boxer of all time?
because it undermines your authority on this point. And he's just like, yeah, like you know, like, because his contention was basically that if Tyson and Holyfield had fought like in the late 80s, early 90s, that Holyfield would have like demolished Tyson. And I'm like, look, man, like I'm firmly in the Tyson camp, but I never said that Tyson would demolish Holyfield. Holyfield is a supreme fucking athlete, you know, arguably one of the, it's certainly in the top 5 heavyweights ever. And so I never said that Tyson would fucking kick his ass. But like, you're making out like it's some slam dunk for fucking Holyfield, and I don't think that's true.
You know they got to fight, right?
Right? He's like, yeah, well, you know, it's like everyone acts like Tyson's the greatest. I'm like, no, he's like, but he was the greatest for a short time. Like for a short time, like he was very good, you know. And he's like, well, what measure are you basing that on? I was like, he just fought a bunch of like nobodies. I'm like, well, there wasn't very many people in the heavyweight division at that time, but still, like margin of victory counts for something, man.
Yeah.
Like margin of victory, like tomato can or not, that guy's still a pro boxer that just got fucking annihilated. Like he was not a boxer at all. And like that's something. And so like that counts for a lot, right? Like it's like you see what a pro boxer, like a top echelon pro boxer can do to other pro boxers and first of all, they don't just put any old person, like if you're the heavyweight champ, they don't just put just anybody in the fucking ring with you. I mean, you could say he's a tomato can, but that's a tomato can by heavyweight contender standards, right? They're not just going to put some guy that's like fucking 0-3 in the
the
ring.
guy that won the tough man competition.
Yeah, they're not going to put that guy in the ring.
Butterbean.
Right. It's like that won't happen. So like that guy's at least somewhat equipped, is certainly more equipped than the field. And so, and then for him just to get fucking annihilated, like it's like not even close.
It's not like, Jake Paul or Logan Paul like fighting Mayweather or anything like that.
It's like,
Do you throw that in his face?
no. It's just like, oh, just everybody thinks Tyson's so great. And I was like, all right, man, well, whatever. That's fine. I'm not saying that like he's better than Holyfield. I never made that claim. You're making the claim to the opposite. I'm just saying like I'm skeptical that was like you're acting like Holyfield just fucking run through Tyson, and I'm like I don't think that's true. If they both fought when they were like 21, 22, and so I don't think that that's true, and it doesn't seem to be the sentiment of Holyfield that it's true either. And I'll take his opinion over your opinion. So, for what it's worth. But, yeah, anyway.
So how'd that game go?
The setup pool we played? 6-4. It's obvious that he's been shooting a little more.
Oh, okay.
I didn't shoot as bad as I thought I would, but still, like, last time we shot, I had been shooting for a couple of weeks, and he hadn't shot in months, and it was pretty even. I hit some good shots, but I also just shanked a lot of really easy shots. The pockets are kind of a little tight at that pool hall.
Yeah, you like them tight. Huh?
Yeah. I didn't think so, because like usually if I'm shooting poorly, I'm just shooting like shit. Like I haven't played in a while. But
Was that double shim?
I think so. Devin was like, yeah, no, these pockets are pretty tight. Like, look, you can't like two balls don't even fit in the mouth of the pocket like comfortably. That's pretty tight. I'm like, yeah, okay, fair enough. But all the same. But nice tables. Just went okay. Like could have been worse. Could have been better. Could have shot better by my own standards. But it's not like we played fucking 10 games and he won all 10 or anything like that. But
Just rack them up. I'll just be here while you whack them up.
yeah, which like when he's shooting frequently and I'm shooting frequently. Well, I've never played Devin when we were both shooting on a regular basis.
Oh yeah.
Because like I first started playing with him when I hadn't shot like in several years, and I was like just starting to shoot again, like with some frequency, and still knocking the rust off for a few months. And he had been shooting on the regular then, and so he just mopped the floor with me. And then last time we shot, like he hadn't been shooting on a regular basis, and I was just starting to kind of like get back into shooting for a little bit, and it was like fairly even. And then last night, he unequivocally shot better than me last night. Like I won 2 games, one because he scratched on the 8, or he put the 8 out of turn, and then another one because he gave me ball in hand on the 8 ball. And it's fucked up. Those two is one game. I broke. I ran like 3 balls, and then he got up and he ran like 1 or 2, and then I missed, and then he ran like all of his balls down to the 8. So I still had 5 balls on the table. But they were pretty spread out, and I got up, and I sank 1, and then I sank 2, and I sank 3, and I sank 4. And I was like in good position to sink the 5th one and get position on the 8.
Yeah.
And I fucking miscued. I miscued and gave him ball in hand, and he fucking won, of course.
Check this out.
Yeah. It's like, fucking dude.
No look.
Yeah. And then, of course, in typical, like, placid Devin fashion, I really thought you had that one there. It's a pretty good run. It's a pretty good run. Like,
Pretty good until you fucked up.
he's like, you just kind of got in the groove there and forgot to chalk. I'm like, yep.
Yeah, he can be a funny dude.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
Yeah.
He's just really fucking, like, just placid about everything. To the point where, like, so even my old lady was just like, is he? I'm like, he's fucking with you. Do you not realize he's fucking being cheeky right now? She's like, no.
No.
My buddy Patrick is that way too. He's just like even more so than Devin. Like, he's just that way, like, all the way up to 11. It's like he just does it for his own idle amusement, I think.
Yeah.
And like, he's just like, the thing is though, is Devin will be that, like, that same sort of demeanor.
Because when he was on the podcast, he'll have like a smirk on his face and he'll say it. Like, okay, I get what you're saying.
But like, even if he's like legitimately arguing with you about something, he'll still just like have that same like. That's probably why he's so good at pool. Is like he just doesn't get flustered. Like even if he's shooting poorly, he'll just be like, yeah, whatever. Like,
It's just a game.
yeah. He's like, yeah, some people, it's like pool hall people are just kind of annoying. It's like no one wants to shoot to have fun. It's like everybody's like trying to make money at it or whatever. It's like trying to make money during COVID at pool. Like you made a lot of mistakes in life. It's like, yep.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. It's not like he's lacking in insight there. But yeah,
They're just kind of scumbags.
it's pretty ratchet, I think is the word he uses. Pretty, but pool hall people are fucking ratchet though.
I just don't. I date the women because they're pretty, not just because they're ratchet.
Yeah.
They just happen to be ratchet.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, you don't go to the pool. Like, don't ever go to a pool hall thinking you're going to make friends. The best you'll get out of it is a pool partner. Somebody who you probably don't like that much. But, like, this is part of the reason I, like, stopped playing pool, like, intermittently. Because I had buddies I played pool with. My buddy Corey, my buddy Drew. I used to shoot with my uncle, my buddy Chris. Like, I had all these friends that I played pool with. And, you know, we all kind of, like, came up in pool together. Like, my uncle got into pool. And then, like, we started shooting together. And then I just got, like, a bunch of my friends into it. And, we all used to shoot, and then like when I kind of went away and whatever, I didn't have people to shoot with, and like it's like you don't go to a pool hall and be like, hey there, buddy, you know, shoot some pool, like we'll be friends. It's like it doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
because they're just fucking ratchet, or they're trying to hustle you, or they're just like you can't be near them outside of like the game of pool because they might get you arrested or something. You know? It's like not a good
Hey,
idea.
you want to go steal stuff?
Yeah. There's no penalties anymore. I can just do whatever I want, you know?
Yeah, just ask them if they're a cop.
Yeah. Just tell you, yeah.
You're not a cop, right?
I'm not a cop. I'm totally not a cop, bro. Oh, you a cop?
Yeah, so hopefully, you know, because, well, for the people that don't know or watching in the future, the Santa Clara County is in a red tier.
And that's not the worst tier. Apparently purple is worse.
I don't know how that works. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
You think red's the worst one?
Use numbers. People know what that means.
Yeah.
Or have 3 tiers. Red, yellow, and green.
Sure. We're in the magenta and this plaid.
Yeah.
Really dangerous.
We're in chartreuse tier. It's like, I don't know.
We got a shark tooth.
It's like, yeah, houndstooth tier, fucking plaid tier, fucking, it's all just gibberish.
We got the ska tier with the checkered.
It's just like, yeah, like I'm surprised they even have a red tier. It's like, no, it's got to be all cool, soothing tone
It's
tiers.
a native tier.
Yeah, it's like it's blues and greens and like different shades of blues and greens, so no one gets like upset. You know, like that whole bullshit where like teachers weren't allowed to use like red ink to correct papers anymore a while ago. You remember hearing about this?
No, I never heard this.
Yeah, like it was like a thing that like red ink apparently like triggered people.
Oh.
Because it's like it just looks so harsh or whatever. So it's like they had like some school had this policy, you just can't correct papers in red ink anymore. Like because that's offends the sensibilities of the people. It's like, isn't it really just how much is written on your paper?
Yeah.
You know, like
if you do poorly and you see an F in red marker, yeah, it's going to trigger you. How about you just do an A and, you know, red be good?
Well, let's just say there was no grade on top of it.
Yeah.
And let's say you had 2 or 3 comments in red ink, but you had 25 things that were in black ink.
Yeah.
Which is going to upset you more?
Well, just being corrections in general, right?
Yeah, it'd just be like the aggregate amount of corrections. Like it just,
Good job, Happy Face.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. To be fair, though, I did like to be try to somewhat even-handed about it.
Or like the correcting, you're making a statement. The teacher's like, "What? Oh, I see what you did."
No, but like when I was in college, like, I mean, I kind of understand like the whole like you know red ink because like you see red ink and you're primed to think that it's like a mistake you made. So sometimes I would get a paperback and I wouldn't actually read the comments, but I would just see like a bunch of red ink on my fucking paper. And I'd be like, oh, fuck, man, what did I do? And then I'd like look at the grade at the top. I'm like, oh, I got a good grade. And I'm just like reading through, and it's like, oh, this is a cogent point. And like, good, this sinks here. Like you kind of like tied that theme back as like all nice stuff. And I'm like, but I just saw like a wall of red ink on my paper, and I was like, oh my god, like what did I do?
Oh my god!
But it's like, as it turns out, I can read, and I can tell what those words say.
That's why I'm in this class.
Yeah, it's like It's like if someone writes "you are a fucktard, learn to write." I don't think what color ink they write it in matters that much.
There's like a happy face at the end.
You were stupid. Learn English. Fuck off.
Uh-huh.
I remember I had this argument with this gal that I had in. I was in college with, and I had a few classes. I had film class, film studies class, and then we had like an English class, a history class together. And she was this Polish gal. She used to be like a pro volleyball player in Poland, because apparently there's let anybody be pro volleyball players in Poland. But anyway, so she, I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I went to college with her. It was like, well, it couldn't have been working out too well for you being a pro volleyball player if you fucking going to college in America now. But anyway, she was a nice enough gal, but a little pretentious. And
In my country, I just spike all over you.
but like we were
Pick you up, fucking.
but we were comparing notes on like these papers we got back, right? And I got an A on my paper, and she got like a B plus on her paper. So she did pretty well. Or it was like a B or a B plus or whatever. And I did really well. I was like, I got like a fucking 98 on this paper. And she was like, oh, I got like an 87. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, like, and I'm looking over the comments, and some of it is like, it's like grammar and spelling. And I'm like, yeah, you get marked down for that stuff. Like if you do enough of it, you know, you mess up your grammar and spelling a lot, like they're going to mark you down a few points. You know, I think you get like a small window where you can make like 2 or 3 or 4 grammatical mistakes, when they just kind of like shoo it away. But if you make a ton of them, then they're going to mark it down. And she's like, well, that's not fair. I'm like, what do you mean it's not fair? And she's like, well, English isn't my first language. And I'm like, so the paper's in English, right? And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah. And I'm like, so it is fair.
Yeah.
You're being held to the same grammatical standards as someone that speaks English because you speak English.
Yeah.
And she's like, right, but I don't know all their grammar rules and everything like that. It's like, you should just grade me on the ideas of my paper. I'm like, that's...
On a curve.
I was like, that's not how it works. Like,
Yeah.
it's grammar and spelling and everything like matter. I mean, admittedly, you're not... I mean, you got like an 87. Like, what are you bitching about? You
Yeah.
didn't get an A because you don't have... Like, I'm sure there are plenty of people that speak English natively that you did better than.
Yeah.
And maybe their grammar and spelling were perfect and you got a better grade than them. And they could just say that that's not fair. I was like, you need to shut up about this shit, you know? And she's like... whining about it. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, well, I don't speak English natively. So, well, why is that his fucking problem? Write in English.
Yeah, you're in English class,
You're
right?
in English class, yeah. So you fucking understand?
In college, right?
Yeah,
You're not in ESL class, are you?
exactly. It's just like, whatever. I think it was film class is what it
Okay.
was. It was film class. We had to write a film analysis, right? I wrote
Yeah.
mine on Chinatown. Good times. And so, yeah, I was like, yeah, it was... Because we watched Chinatown in that class, and I was like, write my paper on this fucking on the importance of the film noir is what I wrote that paper on. Got a good grade.
Why is it important?
Oh well, let me tell you, it gets all academic on you and shit.
I wrote a paper on this. I'll have you know.
Well, no, actually, it was how film noir is indicative of many of the themes that were happening in society at the time. How it's a reflection. And that the dump of film noirs after the war came to a close kind of revealed a lot of our sensibilities about the world at the time. And then I kind of overlaid Chinatown as a harkening back to that era of film. So it was a pretty well done paper.
If you say so yourselves.
I got fucking 98 on it, bro. It was a 98. That's out of 100, you know.
Yeah.
Actually, I might have got 100 on that paper. I did. It was the only paper I have ever gotten 100% on.
Ever.
I don't know if you know this about college professors, but as a general rule, they don't give 100% on their papers because they're like that's their way of communicating to you that you couldn't possibly be better. So it's like it's like her criticism is like, well, I got marked down for grammar and spelling, and it's like, yeah, you can get like a 95 with like 4 or 5 grammar mistakes, but to go from 95 to 100, like
Duncan.
if you miss one fucking like comma, they'll mark you down like 1 point for 1 comma, but it's like 1 to 5 commas is like another point.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's just like it's so much
Yeah,
smaller.
razor's edge.
Yeah. So it's like I think it's the only paper I've ever gotten 100% on. in all of college, and or all high school for that matter too.
Why I want a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas. A plus 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 plus.
You know, I wish I could go back to college to write a paper about why I want a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas. Just like a real academic sounding, like just super
I
fly.
protect my family. It's fun to shoot.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
Because that would be a fun assignment. Like just like, you know, some stupid like thing that you would get like in elementary. Because it's a, what do they call it in A Christmas Story? A theme.
Yeah.
It's not an essay. They
Yeah.
say write a theme.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like I would just like, if they were just like write an essay on like whatever you want about, I would just write like why I want a Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas. And just like make it sound all academic and shit. It'd be fucking dope. It's a clear commentary. And you'd have to be banking on the fact that the professor would be like, this is pretty well written, and like I appreciate like how like, you know, just like I saw that movie and like I immediately have nostalgia for it, so I'm gonna give you an A.
Yeah, it's like a Ratatouille thing.
Yeah.
Like, you probably never saw Ratatouille.
I didn't see that. Yeah. Supposedly it's super cute. Everyone seems to like it.
Yeah, it's fair. It's a fun movie.
I mean, I don't know where it falls on the relative scale of Pixar movies. Better than Cars, not as good as Toy Story.
Yeah, that's probably right.
But those are the bookends, right? Like Cars is like one of the worst Pixar movies.
It is. Yeah, I don't understand why but they made a sequel out of that fucking thing. It was like Cars Land. Does anybody like Cars?
Yeah.
Except like toddlers?
It's like one of those things too. It's like, how does this world work? You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
It's
We
just
talked about this multiple
super
times,
fucking
though.
confusing.
Yeah.
Like, how?
Yeah, it's like communism or something like that.
I don't know.
You're born in the position there. You don't get to choose what you get to do.
Yeah.
You're kind of bred for that thing.
Yeah.
Like, what if you're a car but you want to be an airplane?
Or like, what if you're like a tow truck, and like the tow truck guy is like all just like offensively yokely and
Yeah.
shit. It's like, okay.
Why do they have doors? Because there's no people there.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Like, what? Well, where do you have airplanes?
Yeah.
Who are you taking?
Yeah.
You're just flying like a bird. Okay,
Just
that's
don't
cool.
ask any questions, man. I don't like I can't explain any of this shit. At least there's some cogency to the Toy Story world, right? Like, or it's all the same world, I guess, technically, right?
No, they're different worlds.
No, there's like, I was watching some video essay on this one time where it was like,
It's like post-apocalyptic where people turn into like they're like mutated into cars or something like that.
no, there's just like all these things that like kind of indicate that they all take place in the same world.
There's definitely Easter eggs of them calling back to older Pixar movies, like especially in Toys or Wall-E or something like that, where like you'll see like the piggy bank in the background. Or
Yeah.
you'll see like that fucking car in the background or something like that.
Yeah.
Or the like in Toy Story that fucking was a tow truck is somebody rides it.
Yeah. My favorite is, I think it's in Toy Story 3, where they're all gathered around like in some office around this computer, all these toys. And one of the toys is Totoro from My Neighbor Totoro.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
Well, that's fucking Totoro, dude. It's like, what is he doing in here? He's awesome.
Yeah.
He doesn't even do anything, but he just looks cool. He's like Domo-kun.
Yeah,
It's like my favorite anything. Like, just
yeah. What does he do? I
don't
don't know. He's pretty rad though.
apparently he lays eggs, I learned.
Oh,
Apparently, like, he's like some sort of creature and he lays eggs. And like he has all these preferences. Like apparently it's this thing in like Japanese TV that like you will know what all of the characters like favorite and least favorite foods are.
okay. I don't know.
Like went on this rabbit hole the other day learning about Domo-kun. And it's like he has all these like weird sensibilities. Like he's got like a personality and shit. I was like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's like some weird monster creature. It looks awesome. It's like, I don't care.
Yeah, he popped up at 7-Eleven one day. I'm like, what is this? Oh, it's Domoku.
This is fucking
What? What?
I know. I lost my shit like when because he started getting like popular in the States. You see him at 7-Eleven and like started popping up on like random shit, right?
Yeah.
You have like glasses on or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And like probably like 2 years before that, like 2 or 3 years before that, like I discovered Domo-kun on some random fucking shit. This was even before the little like every time you masturbate, God kills a kitten.
Yeah,
meme
that's the
came
first
out.
time I've ever seen it.
No, it was probably like 2 or 3 years before that even.
Okay.
And so like I don't know how I discovered them, and then like and my uncle had this little like charm that was on his cell phone that was like a little Domo-kun charm. And I was like, man, what the fuck is this weird creature? It's like, oh, some weird Japanese thing. Oh, he's fucking awesome, right? I'm like, yeah, he's super awesome. And then I kind of forgot about him for a while. And he popped up. I was like, holy shit, it's fucking Domoku. He's all over the place now. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
That's one of the only, like, it's one of the only presents I ever bought my uncle. I found, like, shortly after he kind of started getting popular, I was in some fucking store and I just saw like this fucking plush that like this big Domoku. And I was like, fucking bro, I was like, this is for you. I was like, all right, I like this quite a bit. Went over to his house in Chicago. It's like sitting up there in his little fucking gallery. I was like, all right, you still got it. I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Just like, nice.
I checked out TikTok, the app.
Oh, word?
Yeah. It's a pretty interesting app.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll have a flock of pubescent girls following you in no time.
No, I will not be doing that.
What, you're trying to smash, bro? What's your problem?
No, thank you.
Yeah.
But it is interesting, that format. It's interesting. Like the people that do like comedic sketches on TikTok, it's kind of like genius. You have a minute to just do a skit. And some of them pull it off very well. It's like,
Well, the thing is, it's weird too, is I feel like you and I are constantly coming up with things that could be on TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
We're just constantly, we don't have any follow through to like actually make it happen, you know? But like, man, we should do that. That would be a great skit. And like, this would be a great skit. It's like, we should do that. It'd be really funny. It's like, yeah. But we're just like entertained by the idea of doing it. I don't actually want to like coordinate it and do it.
it's like, yeah, we should do a podcast.
Yeah, how'd that one get away from us? Somehow that did end up happening.
I don't know. Whatever.
Well, because there's not as much, you know, like you write something for TikTok, you gotta like write a fucking script and it has to be like super concise and it has to like be conceptual and you have to like prompts and shit. And, like, this is just kind of sitting here shooting the shit.
Yeah, it's like I just put on lights and a camera and record.
And action.
Action. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. So that works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, TikTok, it's just, you have to coordinate it and stuff and like costumes or something for all those skits.
Not necessarily, but it's, I wonder how long it would take to do a sketch because it seems like there's like some sort of production value in some of these people.
Yeah.
Not like the teenagers, like guys or people that are our age that they do TikTok stuff. Like, oh wow, that's pretty ingenious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I could, because my whole thing about writing is that like you need to keep writing really concise, and so it's really good for a short format. Like you just have like super concise writing.
Yeah, that's why I felt for Twitter, a lot of like comedic writers did well on it because you have such a small format. Was
140 characters. It used to be. I don't think they might have extended it now, but
could be. But yeah, you have to be really concise in your writing to make a funny joke. Yeah. So it's like
it's like that's why it's a shame that like Mitch Hedberg never had a fucking Twitter.
Oh, dude, that would have been
because that would have been the fucking best Twitter feed ever.
Oh yeah,
right? It's like because that's like all of his jokes. It's like one line jokes.
I wonder if Stephen Wright has a Twitter.
I doubt it. He seems a little too old.
Yeah. Plus, you burn up all your material. It's like I already saw that on Twitter, bro.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear it.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah.
Why would you give shit away for free that you could charge for?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense if you're like a long form comedic writer.
Yeah.
Like you have stories in your set or something like that.
Yeah, you're like a narrative storyteller or whatever. It's all predicated on harkening back to jokes earlier in your set, all like Kevin Hart or Eddie Murphy or whoever.
Yeah. Well, running pretty long. Well, pretty good.
Yeah.
2 hours, that's not too bad.
That's pretty normal these days.
Yeah, for not a very eventful week.
Yeah, well, most weeks aren't very eventful. Do a once a month cast and there'd be a lot to talk about, and then we just end up probably just getting off on some side tangent about some show
Like all
for
these
like
topics.
a fucking hour, and it's like, I never talked about any of that shit. Okay.
Yeah, I always forget to write stuff for I was like, oh yeah, I should talk about that, the podcast. And I just like, I'm about to do it. Like, oh, what's this on fucking Instagram? All right, cool, man.
Yeah. I never write stuff down, and then sometimes I'll like, I'll remember. I'm good at remembering stuff. And then sometimes I'll forget. I'm like, hey, talk about like fucking whatever record that I was like I got. Like I think I asked you that a couple weeks ago. I was like, I discovered a new band. I don't think I told you this. what is it, Silver Sun Pickups.
Yeah, we talked about it last.
Yeah, we talked about it last time, but the time before I was like, did I talk about that? And it was like, no.
Oh, you just heard of Silverson Pickups?
Probably like a month ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, never heard of that band.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
Pretty
I saw them. I saw out at Coachella.
Oh yeah, they're a pretty good band.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is a pretty good band.
Why is this dude singing? Where's the chick?
Where's the chick?
You didn't think that the first time?
Like, why did I thought
Or
that,
do you think that the lead singer was a guy or a girl when you first heard him?
a guy.
Oh, okay.
It's not a guy?
No, it is a guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but when I first saw, I was like, "Where's the chick?"
Oh,
Because there's a chick in the video that's like actually in the band.
Oh.
It's like, why is she singing? Like a dude, like a bearded dude sings. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, no, I thought it was a guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's not like a baritone or anything like that.
No.
But yeah, it's kind of got like that indie rock voice. You know, it's like, dude,
I thought
indie
it
rock.
just had like a filter on it. That's why.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's a dude's voice.
That's a common thing. It's not like that Tracy Chapman, like, or whoever that person is.
Tracy Chapman.
It was like a artist from like the 90s, and like the name is like
yeah, like
androgynous. Yeah,
Pat.
and then like you look at the person,
Still don't know.
still don't know, and you listen to the person, and you're like, still don't really know if this is a man or a woman.
Oh.
I still to this day don't remember whether it's a man or a woman.
Wow, we should just keep it a mystery then.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't check the genitals or anything like that, but like, yeah, it's like, what is this person? It's like, I can't think of very many bands where I don't know. No, there was some band recently where I heard, wait, this is a dude? Like, it was a chick.
Huh.
But yeah, it never goes the other way where it's like, it's a chick and you think it's a dude. I can't think of any examples of that.
No.
Yeah.
No.
But I like female vocalists as a general rule. So, you know, that's good. But yeah, I'd never heard of them till like about a month ago. And then I kind of was like, started noticing a lot of tracks popping up on Pandora. They're the same band. I was like, I should check this out.
Oh, okay.
Pretty good stuff.
Have they made anything recently? Because I listened to their first album, but after that it kind of fell off.
Yeah, I don't know how old any of the tracks are.
Because I first heard them like probably the late aughts.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's
like
probably
2000 or mid aughts. So like 2006, 2007 when I first heard them.
Yeah, I think that's like when I looked up like the songs of that albums. But I don't know what they're up to recently. Yeah, it's like this band. Like sometimes it'll be weird because I'll hear a band and I won't be able to place. Because you know, like some bands nowadays, like they have kind of like almost like a retro sound. Like the Yeah Yeah Yeahs are that way. Or they're a band that sounds like they could be from the 80s, but they're really from like the 2000s. And this other band that I recently noticed popping up on Pandora a lot, The Sounds. Do you know who they are?
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah, they're kind of like they're kind of in the same vein as the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. They're kind of like punky, like alternative rock, early 2000s kind of sound, like a little bit of Blondie mixed in there kind of sound, that same sort of vocal styling. And they popped up and I was like, oh, I kind of like this all right. And I didn't like listen to one of their albums or anything. I just like 4 or 5 of their tracks like pop up on a couple of the stations that I listened to at Aloni, and I was like, oh, okay, this is pretty good, I guess. But I think I tried to find them on the same thing with Silver Sun Pickups or whatever. Like I tried to find them on Amazon Prime Music, and it was like all their stuff was like behind the paywall, and I was like, yeah, well, I don't like it enough to pay for it. So, and I don't know it well enough to like buy one of their records.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's like these 3 or 4 tracks I like.
Well, you can just listen on YouTube and see if you like the album.
Yeah, that's fair. Just hadn't got motivated enough to do that yet. I was like, yeah, this is good. Just listen to it while I'm at work, and it's pretty good. Thumbs up it.
Yeah.
So it like, you know, comes
Remembers?
back.
Hey.
So you like that.
It's like Amazon's like super confused. I keep on playing Dungeons and Dragons. You play for 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
I don't know why you don't like it now.
You listen to fucking 8 hours of this music this week.
14 hours a week of this.
Yeah.
You don't like it?
Well, it's probably 8 hours a week because we play for 4 hours at a time.
Yeah.
So it's like you listen to this for 8 hours a week and nothing else, like basically, because I don't listen to music in the car anymore because I listen to Pandora at Aloni, And then like when I come home, I just like put on my record player and listen to music. And so I don't really listen in the car anymore. So it's like, yeah, like during D&D, it's like, yeah, you want to listen to the Skyrim soundtrack? I'm like, no, not while I'm driving. No. Especially because it'll be like,
How about this dungeon crawl music?
well,
or
especially
these sound effects of these guys fighting?
especially because it's like, it'll be when you put on your station, it bases it on your listening. So it'll be like Lana Del Rey, The Clash, AC/DC, and then like Dungeons and Dragons music. Like, this is not like I don't like this in this.
But you like this stuff. Our algorithms have proven it.
Yeah, just like no, like under very narrow circumstances.
No. You listen to a lot of it.
It would be like if you were just like watching stuff on YouTube and it was like, oh, it's a Sam Harris lecture and like, oh, it's like that, that think tank and that TED Talks and then just like some Sasha Grey stuff mixed in. It's like, no, I don't like this on YouTube. This is not where I want this thing. You're not selecting for environment here.
Watch this man eat a banana whole.
Yeah, it's exactly.
What?
It's like, no, you're not. It's like select for environment. You don't know what environment I'm in right now.
Well, that guy's beat a white chick. I don't understand. Watch these gangbangers get in a fight.
Exactly.
What? Mandingo? What? I don't understand.
How to make your skin smoother in seven easy steps. This facial method is the best. It's like no. Dislike.
Hey, get this money shot. This money shot photo for your sunset pictures.
Yeah.
What?
Girl's super uptight about how clean her room is. Friends call her incredibly anal. No, not you don't understand context, algorithm. Anyway, so yeah, it's sort of like that. That was a problem. So I just had to stop listening to the Amazon station because it was just like, it was seriously was like every other track. And I just kept disliking them. Dislike. And it's like, no, you like I see what it is. This one's more Scottish theme and you want one more Central European theme. Yeah. It's like, no, it's like getting more and more sophisticated. I think you're trying to figure it out. It's like, I'm never going to win this.
Oh, you want Swedish techno. I get it.
Yeah. It's like never going to work out. Like to just eventually... don't dislike it.
There's some fucking engineers like, what is this guy's problem? I don't understand.
It's like, yeah, just the algorithm is like, no, I will beat you eventually. It's like just something, I don't know. You listen to it so you like it, which is fair most of the time. Like, you purchase it, you like it, right? Like you can't. You bought it several times, so I'm going to give you other things that are like this that you want to buy. It's like, I don't want to buy that. Yes, you do. You just don't know it.
Or you see like weird items. I've seen it on Reddit. Like the weird, like, other people bought this item too with this.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm trying to think. Like a face mask, but it ends up being like gag balls and all that shit.
Oh, like ball gags and stuff?
Yeah. It's like, no. This is for COVID. I don't want I don't want dog masks for like dog play. I just want a mask for my face.
Yeah. They bought those together? Like people that they also looked at these things. Like,
A gimp mask? Why would that stop COVID? They have so many holes in it.
It's like, yeah, I guess. It's
like that video of the kid, he bought a bong on the internet and his mom like saw the package, like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Like, come in the room, what is this? Oh, I don't know, it might be an Xbox. And opens up the bong, like, I don't know, what is this for? It must be like some sort of like tube for plumbing or something like that. It's your fucking bong you ordered online.
Yeah, it gets like Amazon gets Amazon must think that like because like every now and again I'll buy my girlfriend like clothes or something, and like so it's just like,
what do you want?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, just here, you want this schoolgirl outfit? I'm like, no, I just bought my girlfriend a shirt that kind of vaguely has that aesthetic, but I'm not trying to like dress up like a Catholic schoolgirl. Like, that's not my thing.
So Amazon doesn't have like the individual profiles. Like you share an account, but like different like Netflix.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh.
I mean, we just order everything together, and so it's like, yeah. So sometimes it'll just be like, you know.
Oh, we had this conversation. It must be hard to get like presents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta like go all clandestinely or go offline.
I'm going dark, baby.
A fucking catalog, like calling it in. Hey man, yeah,
Sharper image.
yeah, you got that product ZF312 Alpha. Like,
Okay, got it.
it's quantity 1.
Fill out a form, mail it in.
Exactly.
4 to 6 weeks to get it in.
So right, I don't even want that anymore.
Yeah. What's this for?
That's the difference too. Is like if you ordered shit now and it took that long to come, you wouldn't even want it. Like
Yeah.
by time it got, like by time it arrived. But like back then, it was like you anticipated it. You like couldn't wait, and you're like, oh my god. It's like so like whatever. Like I was talking about, I ordered that spiked collar like in a catalog or whatever. It was like. And there was no way for them to like, they didn't like bombard my mailbox with like bondage gear after thinking that it was like
A catalog.
Yeah, it's like, here, you want that? Yeah, I don't.
Are you into pup play?
There is no possible way that I have discerned to, if you order cigars on Cigars International or like one of those companies, to get them to stop sending you catalogs. There's like nothing you can do. They just will send you catalogs into perpetuity. I've tried like every fucking thing imaginable, and they just keep sending them to me.
I haven't got too many catalogs.
Really? Because like I ordered like one thing from them a while ago. It was those Tatuaje Peas and the Illusion Rexes. It was like bought some bargain cigars, and like I remember distinctly clicking no, do not send me shit. And then the receipt came or whatever. I was like, do you want to update? I said, no, don't send me this.
Yeah, they're sneaky too. They put the catalog inside your package too.
Yeah, it's just like they just send me one every fucking month. And like for the first few months, I was like, I'll see what they got going on.
Same shit.
And then it's just like fucking garbage. It's all shit. It's like all the shit you don't want is like cut rate, and like all the stuff you do want.
Want
It's
some
like
pirate's booty?
it's like all this. It's like all the stuff that you would want is just like the same price that you could get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
More or less. It's like, oh, you want late hours from Davidoff? They're $18 a stick. I was like, I can get those fucking anywhere for $18 a stick. Anywhere on the internet, I can find them that much.
Yeah.
It's like,
And half the time, the shit you want, they're sold out.
yeah. It's like, I just like, what? I don't fucking stop it.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do. Like I moved. Maybe that'll like throw them off the fucking trail at this point.
Did you get your mailing address forwarded? Forwarded.
Yeah.
You might get it.
But like,
Only for a little bit.
right. I was going to say, it's not like they're going to send them my new address.
No.
So it might get forwarded because it's not into perpetuity that mail gets forwarded. Like eventually they stop.
A couple months.
Yeah. Because I lived at my old place for 2 years, more than 2 years.
Want some free CDs?
And like I was still getting mail for Brianna Tabler and Eduardo Cervantes.
Okay.
Fuck you guys. Fuck both of you. Fucking. I've taken to doing this. Here's what I do now. When I get mail that I don't want, whether it's junk mail or mail for someone else, or just mail in general that's just like to our neighbor, our like current resident. So what irritates me about getting junk mail is that I have to go through the trouble of like throwing it away, and like I don't want to like, you get so much junk mail that like in a week it could fill your whole garbage can up.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't want to make a special trip just to walk the mail to the dumpster directly. And it's like, because junk mail is basically a way of just them saying, here, you throw this away for me. So what I've taken to doing is we have an outgoing mail slot right there in our mailbox, and I just stuff it all in there. That's just like, okay, you want to keep giving me shit I don't want? I'm just going to give it right back to you.
Yeah.
I just fucking stick it in there. It's just if it avoids me having to like carry it upstairs or throw it away, like, fine. I'm just going to keep stuffing the fucking junk mail, the flyers, the coupons, the fucking like bills for other people. They just go in the outgoing mail. I don't know what they do with that when that happens. And it doesn't seem to stop me from getting junk mail. But it's like, if you're going to make my life an inconvenience, mail carrier, I'm going to make your life an inconvenience. Because you should know that fucking Brianna Tabler does not live here anymore.
I just deliver the mail.
Yeah. Sure, but it's like you don't read it. You gotta read it like and go like, yeah,
That's not my job.
to read the mail. Yes, it is.
I just say, is this the location where it should go? It goes there. I don't care who it belongs to.
And now you'll just have to carry my junk mail elsewhere.
I've seen people like those credit card offers. They have the pre-stamped envelopes. They stuff the junk mail in there because the credit card company has to pay for that shipment. So you're sending them trash to them again.
Oh, nice. I should do that. It's a little more involved. Is I like open the envelope and stuff it in there, and like seal it back up.
It's well worth it.
Put it in there.
It's kind of like you doing those multi-level marketing people and just wasting their time.
Just fuck with them. Just like just anytime is like I encounter those people. Yeah, that's interesting. Like, let's talk about that. That went on for like a month. It's like, it's fucking.
I think we talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah, I never got that story published.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Did you ever read it? Did I ever send it to you?
No, you never sent it to me.
Yeah. I like went through this whole process of like I just got this idea that I was gonna like write about that World Financial Group scam, and like because I got 2 people in like a month, and I just found myself wondering like, man,
Do I look like a mark?
yeah, do I just have like the stink of desperation on me or something? Like, what the fuck is this about? Like 2 people in like a month, like getting on my jock, like, hey man, how's it going? The second guy, I thought he was coming on to me because I was at Target, like shopping for fucking like hair product or something queer like that. And so I was
This
like,
guy's fancy. Look at this.
yeah, and he came up to me, he's like, yeah, you're really well dressed, and I was like, hello.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Shops for some hair product. And he's like, yeah. It's like, yeah.
Touch your beard. Look at that.
He was like, kind of like, I don't know, like, I was like, is this dude hitting on me in the middle of Target? Like, I don't, it's a little weird, but I don't, on the off chance that he's not, I'm not going to be rude. Like some people are just weird like that. Like,
Yeah.
hey man, I like that sweater you're wearing. Like, cool. I got it at Banana Republic for it's $60. Go get one for yourself and fuck
What was
off.
that comment you made every time someone says, I like your jacket? I know.
Everybody does. That's what I say.
Oh, I thought you said I know. Oh, no. I think I'm transposing the Han Solo thing. I love you. I know.
No, I have said I know.
Oh, okay.
I have said I know, and I've said everybody does. Because it's like people's like I don't know. It's one thing for like a lady to compliment how you look, but for like another straight dude to be like, yeah, you look sharp. Here, it's like a tie. It's really good. It's like look, man, I just don't, like, just like don't do that.
Don't touch me.
It's like, okay, I don't. What are you supposed to say? Just like, hey, you look good, man.
Hey, you don't look like shit today.
Yeah,
Hey.
it's like, okay, cool, great. Like, it's like when people say that your girlfriend is actually smart. Yeah, what did you expect? Do you just think that I like bimbos, or you're surprised? That
Hey, man, I'm
it's just like I don't know. I
Paying a compliment.
I never know how to respond to that. Like it's okay. Yeah, she's a fucking
Hey,
educated
you're a
woman.
pretty smart guy.
Yeah.
You would have thought.
Like that guy was like, I was talking to him about like, I think it was Lyft or ride sharing. Were you there that night?
No.
Yeah, we were talking about like the whole ride sharing model. And like, I just said some things that like, and
Oh, that must be a technology company.
he just acted like I was like, he's like, yeah, sure, you're actually like a smart guy. I was like, don't sound so surprised, I guess. Like, it's because I'm not a dipshit. Like, I just assumed you work at a cigar shop. You must be fucking retarded. You just must be a fucking retarded plebe, knuckle dragging Cro-Magnon. Like, and then I wasn't, and he acted shocked, and then he acted like it was a compliment that he was shocked. Like, yeah, man, it was good talking to you. It wasn't mind-numbingly boring because of how stupid you are. Like, oh, thanks, pal. You're a good dude.
Yeah.
You're a good dude after all. Doing a service to the world. Talking to all us idiots.
Kind of a similar situation, but have you had people come over like, hey, how's it going? Come in. They don't even say hi or hello. It's like, hey, is Chris here? I'm like, oh, I'm not good enough to do anything for you right now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be a fucking retard and sit over here. Ooh.
Yeah.
Like, I can't help you.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I would say, oh, he's not here right now, but is there something I can help you with? Well, I really just want to wait for Chris. I'm like, is there any particular reason you want to wait for Chris?
No.
well, I'll just like, I'll just come back like when he's working. When's he working? I'm like, I don't know. Why don't you figure that out for yourself?
I should have said that too.
I've said that one. Like, oh, when is he working? Like, I don't know. You're a smart guy. Why don't you figure it out? Like, he's so impotent to fucking have like another person like help you select cigars. Like it's fucking rocket science or something. I suspect those people are just fucking freeloaders.
That's why I said to Chris, I was like, oh, you want, because when the guy says like, oh, you want free shit? Yeah, I'm not going to give any free shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I suspect is they're just.
And he gave him free shit. I'm like, fuck, man, you're encouraging this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
The other guy does it for me. I was like, no, he doesn't. I tell you, I told somebody that one time because they came in.
Oh, Chris gives me a discount.
No, it wasn't Chris. It was you.
Me?
I don't know if it was a discount or something, but he said something like, well, Mike does it for me.
Does what?
And I don't remember what it was. It was something. It was something like, like get extra stamps or like a discount.
Yeah,
or
I don't do that.
Something.
Yeah.
And they were just like, well, Mike does it, and I was just like, no, he doesn't. They were just like. They were like, no, he does. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. I promise you that he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I was like, well, last time I was in, I was like, nope. No. Like, I know that Mike would never do that. And I know that because I'm positive I know him better than you do. And they're just like, really just got like this wide-eyed fucking look on their face. And then like, oh, whatever, man. I was like, yeah. No.
Yeah, whatever.
Because it was just like one of those situations where it was crisply clear that they were fucking lying to me. And they just thought they could just pick a random employee's name. And it's like, if you're going to don't pick a random employee. If you told me Chris, I might have some semblance to believe you. But like, don't tell me that like this person that I know pretty fucking well and know how they operate here at this cigar shop and in general did this thing that's totally incongruent with their personality and expect me to fucking believe you because I won't and I will call you a liar.
Yeah.
Like, get out.
Yeah. Nah, do it, man. You're a good guy. You're a nice guy. He's like, no, I'm a fair guy. Yeah. And that's not fair. Yeah. So I will not give you extra stamps.
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like if someone came in and be like, yeah, Press Pass recommended this Aladino for me. He said it was great. And you would just be like, nope, that didn't happen.
Or like guys like, I come here all the time. I've been coming here for years. Like, I've never fucking seen you in my life, dude. I practically live here, dude.
It's like, you don't know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Are you new here? You must be new.
Yeah, I was like, nah.
No.
No, you must be new.
No, you must be new. Yeah. New to you, because you don't come in here.
Yeah, I've said that to a couple people.
New to you.
And there's this guy that came in. He used to be he used to be a customer at Old Knickerbockers. Yeah. It's like, oh, yeah, I know Bill, this and that. I've been going there for years, this and that. And it's like one of those type of dudes is like, I've been coming here for so long. You haven't even been here for that long. It's like, yeah, I've been here for a long time. It's like, how long? I think it would be 13 years. Like, oh, cool, man. I'll see you later.
I had a guy come in the other day, and he was like, hey, man, does Matt still own this place? And I was like, and for a second, I was like, man, this guy doesn't know what he's fucking talking about. And he was like, yeah, does Matt still own this place? He's like, I haven't been in years. And I'm like, dude, Matt hasn't worked here in years. I was like, he never owned it, though. He used to be the manager. And he's like, no. He used to own it back when the shop was like over down this way before they moved. And I'm like, oh, you're talking about the guy that owned it before Bill? He was like, oh, this is probably like 17, 18 years ago. And I was like, oh, fuck. It's like, geez, when you said you hadn't been in a while, you were fucking kidding. He was like,
yeah, it hasn't even been in that location for that long.
Because he was like, no, the shop used to be elsewhere.
Yeah,
and like
Willow
this
Glen.
old guy that like fucking old crusty old guy that used to own it. And I was like, yeah, that's what he said over on Willow Glen.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, that was like fucking forever, like more than 15 years ago. He was like, oh yeah, this was a long time ago. And I was like, no, he hasn't owned it for like 15 years.
Yeah.
He was like,
he's probably dead or something.
Like, he's probably dead now. He was 100 then. He's like 120 now if he's still alive. So yeah, not so much. But yeah, like I thought he was talking about Matt Harrison, whatever his name is. And I was like, no, he never owned it. And then like he was just like, oh yeah, like Matt, he used to own it like back when it was over there. And I was like, oh God, I don't know. Yeah, maybe that was the name of the guy that owned it before Bill.
Maybe some guy called in and was like, yeah, is Matt there? I'm like, Matt?
You just
the owner. I'm like, Matt was the manager and he doesn't work here anymore.
I think the guy that used to own it before Bill was named Matt.
Okay.
And so like, but yeah,
maybe that's why.
It was like a million years ago. And like I imagined he was retired, didn't he? Is that why he sold the shop?
I have no idea. No, there's another story with that one, but yeah.
Yeah,
the previous owner.
Because he moved the shop, didn't he? And then like shortly after he moved it, he sold it to Bill, right?
Oh, okay. So no, there's some weird things I'm not really too clear about, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Either way.
yeah.
Yeah, went to jail or something. You know, he's like running a pedophile ring out of the back.
Not that. No, I was gonna say no, not that. I'm not gonna say that.
I would not say that.
I'll not say that.
No, it's like some sort of something white collar situation, I'm sure. Anyway, so yeah,
Well,
moving
hey,
on.
but gee,
Just good times.
Pizzagate, I was
Pizzagate,
QAnon.
All right. Well, we got off on a diatribe there after we were going to wrap up, but I guess we can wrap up now.
All right, that's it's part of the podcast.
No, it's good times. I like it when it's just like, oh, you look like you're driving the key, and you come back and you fade away and do a 3-point, and it's like swish, and then you get the rebound, and you come back and Charles Barkley it. I'm just throwing names and basketball phrases out because I don't really know anything about basketball. So
All right, I think that does it for this week.
All right, yeah.
I didn't fart. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to Mikey and the Press Pass podcast. Consider subscribing. You can rate and review us on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and pretty much anywhere where you can listen to podcasts. And you can also write us with any ideas, suggestions, or horrible burning criticism at mikeyandthepresspass@gmail.com. Thank you.